Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Day 2, Session 3. It's the finals night here on Friday night from Pan Am Pool for the 2022 Sask Winter Provincial Championships. I'm going to be your play-by-play commentator once again for tonight's action, Graham Forsyth, joined by a color commentator for the first time this week, I guess. Heading into the weekend, Bo West. Bo, great to have you back on. Should be in for a great night of swimming, you would say, tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, 2 years ago, this was canceled. This meet was canceled. So I'm so excited to be back here. These swimmers are super excited to be here, and I'm ready to get started.
I mean, you were away today, of course, working, but you were here yesterday. What did you feel like? I mean, just looking at the swimmers, them preparing. What do you feel the atmosphere was like around this facility yesterday? Just getting ready to get things kicked off yesterday.
Yeah, it was a little bit surreal because they still have some COVID restrictions in place and not allowing swimmers on deck until right before your race, and then as soon as you're done, they want to get you off and get into the other pool and warm down. So there's not a lot of cheering going on deck. Normally the swimmers would be running up and down cheering for their teammates. So it's still a little bit subdued, but I'm hoping the atmosphere will build here as we get through the weekend.
Yeah, it should be pretty exciting to see how many fans are going to be in the stands. I know a lot of the athletes have been behind us here, so we've heard them cheering on their teammates, seen them cheer on their teammates as well down there along with the coaches, which has just been great to see. But what event are you most excited to see here tonight? I mean, out of these events, we got the 12 and under final, under A final. We got some B finals here as well. So many different categories. What excites you the most for, what are you waiting for the most?
You know, we're going to see a little bit of everything here tonight. I mean, the 50 freestyle is always entertaining. We got that coming up here tonight. That's just a dead sprint from one end to the other, right? So,
yeah.
So that's fun to watch. But we're going to see fly, back, breast. We're going to see it all. So 200 breast, I'm looking forward to. There's some real good swimmers in those events. People are trying to make certain time standards or break certain records. So that I'm looking forward to. And 100 fly is always a fun event.
Yeah, we're going to be starting off with this event 7, girls 100 meter butterfly event. There will be 4 heats. There's going to be the alternates 15 and over as well. We're also going to have the boys 100 meter butterfly coming up after the girls finish their heats off. But yeah, I mean, this event, what do you think is going to be the key for these swimmers here to be able to, you know, if they had success in this event before, to replicate it here in the finals tonight?
You know, it's they're going to get the jitters out the first night of the finals. They might be a little nervous coming in here, so they got to get one under the belt if they didn't swim yesterday. Yesterday, you know, you saw the 200 AM and the 1500 freestyle, and not everybody swims those events. So it's about getting in and getting started, and I'm really excited to see. I mean, we've been waiting 2 years for this, so it's going to be interesting to see who's put in the work the last 2 years, who's been able to put in work. A lot of them haven't been. What have you been doing instead to get you ready for this moment?
And, of course, we got to see all of the Manitoba talent last time in the junior provincials when we broadcasted. Now we're seeing Saskatchewan swimmers coming in, as well as Ontario swimmers, even though it's called the Sask. And swimmers really coming from everywhere. Quebec as well, swimmers coming from there, as well as Alberta. What have you noticed the most about the talent that has come in from these different provinces this weekend so far?
You know, I noticed that usually Regina Optimus Dolphins, they've been winning this meet on the team score side for, I think, since 2016. Mansa used to win it for a number of years, and then Regina came in and won it. This year, Regina has a relatively small team. They used to show up with about 40, 50 swimmers. They got 28 swimmers this year they entered. So they're down in numbers. Saskatoon is coming in with 50 swimmers, big team. And then Mansa, the biggest club here in Winnipeg, are coming in with 47 swimmers. So it's going to be real interesting to see whether Regina is going to be able to get the title again here this year with that few swimmers. So we'll see that as the meet goes on.
Will be interesting for sure. We're going to start off with the girls 100 meter butterfly event, as well as the boys will do the 100 meter butterfly event after. And at the end of the night here tonight, to finish things off, we're going to be seeing some relays going, some freestyle relays 200 meter. So those will be exciting to see.
That'll be lots of excitement there. That's a fun relay. So there'll be 4 swimmers doing the 50 freestyle each. So you'll see them starting from both ends of the pool. They'll start here down to to our left and swim down to our right. So we'll have 2 swimmers from each team on either end of the pool, and that's going to be a lot of excitement there. There's always, the rivalry between the clubs, especially between Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So there's a lot of prestige in winning these relay titles, as well as a lot of team points. The team points are double in relays, so you want to get those if you're chasing that team title.
So we are going to be starting here shortly. We're just about ready to go, it seems like. Just about to hit 5 o'clock. It's going to be another jam-packed night of swimming here. I'm Graham Forsyth, of course, your play-by-play commentator, joined by Bo West, who is going to be doing color here tonight. And Bo, I mean, just looking at it, how important the technique is going to be at this point for the swimmers, going in the finals.
Well, especially butterfly. And you see in some of these younger swimmers, what you quite often see in younger swimmers is that having a difficult time maintaining that stroke rate through the full 100 fly, even 200 fly you see later this weekend. But even in 100, especially long course, trying to maintain that stroke rate, maintain that turnover. You got 2 kicks for each pull. You want to have that kick at the right place on your pull. So what you quite often see little kids do, they fall into sort of survival mode. And that really slows you down. And you, as a coach, you want to make sure you break those habits and train them to maintain that stroke rate as long as they can, because that gets really important. If you go into survival mode, you might do that, and I'll point it out if we see it. You might get away with that. It's a 12 and under, but as you become a senior swimmer,
right,
if you go into that, you don't stand a chance.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what your thoughts would be on this, but just proves, when swimmers go into survival mode, you don't want to say they're not mentally tough, but definitely the mental game plays a huge factor in the sport like any other.
Yeah, and quite often you see swimmers go into that because they've been training a lot of fly. Maybe they love butterfly, but they've been training a lot of it. But if you overtrain butterfly, then you end up training it with the wrong technique. And so we'll see here which coaches are staying on top of that and see who's able to maintain it for the full 100. And it's long course. It's tough. You don't have those. Usually you get those turns when you're swimming short course meters. At the 25-meter mark, you get to have a little short break on the wall. You get to kick out underwater again. You only have to swim, 10, 15 meters. Here, you got to swim. You can only kick 15, but you got to swim 35 meters. So it becomes a lot harder long course in butterfly. We'll see who's up for it.
Well, they got the names on the board here. There are going to be 5 swimmers that will be in the pool. Kate Liebrick, Jillian Kimmins, as well as Ellie Bodnar, Nicole Godbout, and Maggie Bogdan. We are going to hear our national anthem here first, though, folks, the Canadian national anthem. Stay tuned. Well, that was the Canadian national anthem, the instrumental version. Great to be here on this Friday evening for a jam-packed night of swimming here from Pan Am Pool in Winnipeg, Manitoba. ASTV Productions proud to bring you the coverage of this year's 2022 Sask Winter Provincial Championships. This is the second day of the championships. It is session 3, and this is the finals. And I mean, looking at these first 5 racers here, Bo, who are you keeping an eye on? Obviously, 4th lane, usually having the best time coming in. Ellie Bodnar has showed some good stuff this weekend already.
Yeah, Ellie Bodnar had a very, very good morning. She's going in with a 112 flat. She's almost 8 seconds ahead of the nearest competitor, so chances are she will hold on for the win. We'll see. You know, you never know. Maybe some of these other swimmers dogged it in the morning just as they knew they had a final spot. But my money would be on Ellie Bodnar here to take home the win.
Well, it's the 12 and under A final to start things off here. In terms of, maybe there's a sleeper in this group who you could see potentially upsetting and having a chance to take the win here in this final.
You know, in lane 5, you got Nicole from Saskatoon Goldfin. She's got a big team behind her. Like I said earlier, there's 50 swimmers from Saskatoon here, so she might have the support. Let's see if she can pull something off. She's tall. She's got long limbs here, long arms. That's always great for a swimmer. Big feet always helps. I can't tell from here whether she has that, but certainly she's got the length, and we'll see if that helps her.
We'll need to get us some binoculars out there. Right? But here we go to kick off session 3 here on day 2 from the Pan Am pool. The 12 and under A final. And they're off. 100-meter race. It's the 100-meter butterfly in the 4th lane. Starting off strong is Ellie Bodnar, really separating herself from the rest of the pack at this point so early on in the race.
Yeah, really nice stroke. She's keeping a really high stroke rate here. You see her hips are coming up as her hands are entering the water. She's got a strong power kick at the end of her pull. She's looking really good. Let's see if she maintains this stroke right here. Sometimes these 12 and unders do fall apart a bit long course, but so far she's looking really strong. She's out in 33.7. Very good split for her. See if she can go a little bit faster than this morning.
Lane number 5, Nicole Godbout in second place. Looks like she's trying to gain some traction there on Ellie Bodnar, but Bodnar looking to finish this strong. Let's see if she can keep up that stroke rate like Bo was saying up until the end. It looks like Bodnar will take this 12 and under A final. It looks like second place will be going to lane 5 in Nicole Godbout. And congrats there to Ellie Bodnar with a strong swim. Nicole Godbout coming in second in the 5th lane.
Yeah, but very nice swim in lane 3 there, Gillian Kimmins from Regina. She's only 10 years old. She's 2 years younger than some of these, so she's got a bright future ahead of her. Very nice swim coming in for a bronze medal.
How huge is that for young swimmers, really, Bo, to be able to go up against older competition? You know, obviously you don't have that expectation so young that you're going to take home the gold, but to place 3rd, I mean, that's got to be a huge moment for Gillian Kimmins.
Yeah, really a shame that I don't think they're doing the medal ceremony, but that would be a huge moment for someone at 10 years old. They're probably just handing out the medals to the coaches, but she's going to get a lot of confidence walking away from this.
Into the second heat we're seeing tonight in the girls 100-meter butterfly. It's the 13-14A final. And
yeah, this is going to be Caitlin Liu from the Thunder Bay Thunderbolts. She was at a high-performance meet in Ontario and Toronto a couple of weeks ago. She's looking very good on the fastest time from this morning.
And Sadie Anderson in lane 5 has looked very good this weekend as well from when she's raced. It's pretty close right now in terms of who's going to be in the top 3 of this race by the end of it. But into the last 50 meters now. Still out in front is Caitlin Liu in that 4th lane. In that 5th lane, trailing her is Sadie Anderson. Ariana Arcaro, watch out for her as well in that 3rd lane. But right now it is Caitlin Liu, who looks like she will be getting the gold. In 2nd, it's Anderson. In 3rd, it's Arcaro. Anderson does not seem like she'll be able to catch Liu. And Liu coming in as the favorite, living up to that hype. And she finishes with a very nice time. And looking at her...
she dropped another half second from this morning. So she'll be happy with that. Very good swim here.
Well, some entertaining stuff here to start off. Sammy Benning finishing in 3rd place in that 6th lane.
And this is where it gets a little bit tighter now. This is the A final for the 15 and over. So you got a Melissa Edelman in lane number 4. on a 106.87 this morning, separated only by 5/100ths of a second behind is Lexi Oliver from Manson. So on paper, extremely close. Let's see if both of these gave it everything they had this morning. Maybe one of them took it a little bit easier. I know that they have a pretty safe spot in the final, but this could be extremely close here.
Should be entertaining here in the third race of the finals tonight. Staying in the water for the longest was lane number 6. And it is too close to call who is in the lead right now. It is looking like lane number 5 maybe getting an advantage here in Lexi Oliver.
Yeah, it's very, very tight. It's a little bit of an unorthodox breathing style in lane number 3. You see that every now and then. She's breathing to the side in butterfly. Most swimmers breathe to the front. That's something that was kind of perfected by a Russian swimmer back in the early 90s, Denis Pankratov. He started the breathing to the side, and some swimmers still do it. We got real strong swim in lane number 6.
Yeah, lane number 6 looking real nice right now, and Amy Becker. But, it is close to call here, Bo, who is going to get it. Lane number 4 looking good as well. Lane number 5 looking good also, and Lexi Oliver, who's it going to be? Will it be Oliver taking home the win? And it will be in lane number 4 of Melissa Adelman, edging out Lexi Oliver for first, and she'll finish in second. That's Oliver, and finishing in third, Abigail Tenno of the University of Regina. But going back to that unorthodox style, you said that obviously she was using it and swimmers still use it today. But is that something that is kind of the coaches like to coach that out of the kids, or is it something that just if it works for them, it works for them?
Really, exactly that. If it works for them, you let them do it. Unless it's something that's drastically something that's going to slow them down, creates a lot of drag. But little things like this, if they're comfortable doing that, it gives them a better head position, maybe a better body position. You let them do that.
Heat number 4 here, 15 and over B final.
Yeah, so these swimmers here are racing for 9th place. So this is the B final, and even if you beat everyone from the A final, if you ended up in the B final from the morning by taking it a little too easy in the morning, you end up in the B final. Best thing you can do is come 9th. You can break the world record in the heat, and then you're still only going to get 9th place.
Rebecca Moore, even though she is in the B final, is had a pretty good weekend in terms of being near the top of her heat in terms of the standings of where she's placed. But right now it's looking like lane number 6 and lane number 3 making really good pushes. Jillian Stacy in that 3rd lane, Mayhew in that 6th lane. But it's looking like in the 3rd lane there, Jillian Stacy looking to finish this one off strong. Let's see if she can. Can she get the win? It's going to be close, but it's looking like Jillian Stacy will pick it up. And she does just that, finishing in first. In the 3rd lane, Becca Moore.
Yeah, very nice swim. She's almost 2 seconds faster than this morning. Like, had she gone this time this morning, she would have been going in the A final, ranked 5th or 6th. So when it's this tight, you have to be able to put up good times in the morning. Make sure you put yourself in a position to fight for a medal in that A final.
We're now going into the boys here, and it will be the 100-meter butterfly. And Rimso Unkechika, definitely the swimmer to watch here in this race coming up.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal junior provincials, a young man out of Manta. He dominated that meet. I don't know how many gold medals he came home with, but it was more than a handful. But this might be closer than you think here. You got Kian Wu from the Goldfinch as well. He's less than a second behind this morning, so it could be very close.
Well, it will be entertaining indeed. It is Unkechika starting off with the lead, but right there in lane 5, Kian Wu is trying to keep up with him, trying to gain the pace. Right now, Unkechika, through the first 50 meters, has the advantage. But if I had to guess, coming down the stretch here, it's going to be between Unke Chika and lane number 5's Kian Wu.
Yeah, it's going to be between lane number 4 and lane number 5. And Kachika Rimso here, he's out in 33. That's quite a bit faster than I think he would have been this morning. So he's looking very strong.
Rimso, a 13-year-old in the 13 and under A final, a potential star in the making here as he continues his path and swimming. Looks like he does have the big advantage right now on Kian Wu. Wu putting his head down now, trying to give it his all, but it's Rimso Unke Chika looking like he's gonna come away with yet another win. Rimso looking to finish this strong, and he does. Coming in second is gonna be Wu from the 5th lane. And coming in third, I believe that was lane number 3 in Max Zao. And as you can see on screen, the rest of the score showing, but phenomenal race there from Rimso Unke Chika once again.
Yeah, he's out very fast, out in 33 and back in 40. Normally you don't want to see a 7-second split between your first 50 and your last 50, but he went for it, and you got to give him credit. He wanted that gold, and he took it out, and he held on.
The 14-15A final coming up now, and anybody you're keeping your eye on here, seems like lane 4 and lane 5 should be the front runners for this one.
Yeah, they're separating themselves quite a bit, but between the two of them, it should be very close. Stephen Bannig out of Manta is a very good 200 butterflyer, so watch for him towards the end of this race. If he's at the lead at the 75, I don't think anyone's catching him. He's got good endurance, and he's taking it out.
And look at this from Stephen Bannock so far, having a very strong performance. And Stephen Bannock is a 14-year-old, one of 2 14-year-olds only in this 14 and 15A final. So he is one of the younger swimmers, but age not being a factor for him. And everyone trying to chase him right now. Let's see if Mr. Bannock can finish it off. What does he have? Very good endurance from Stephen Bannock. The crowd getting louder. The swimmers getting louder. Stephen Bannock looking to take home the gold here in the 14 and 15A final. In lane number 5, coming in second is going to be Martin Haleko. And in third, Rhett Smith in lane 3.
Oh, that's an excellent swim by Stephen. He'll be competing at the Western Championships in Edmonton and towards the end of the April. That time right there is getting him under that cut. I think he already had it. He already has the 200 fly as well. He'll be looking to see if he can get a few more standards this weekend. But a very strong performance.
The 16 and over A final now, and 8 swimmers in this heat coming up. Sam Chisholm has looked good, and another swimmer that I found has looked pretty good this weekend throughout has been Eric Dupree in lane 6.
Eric Dupree is he dominated in that 1500 yesterday. He's more of a distance freestyler, but he does have a very good butterfly. And again, he's got the endurance, so watch for him towards the end of the race. If he's within striking distance, he might just catch him right at the end.
Lane number 4 looking strong here. Andre Usen. He is in first, followed by, I believe it's lane number 5 and Sam Wagner. Right now, Eric Dupree in lane number 4, or in lane number 6 in 4th. And right now, coming down the stretch, it's looking like Andre Usan is out in front trying to catch him. Best chance to do that is in lane 5 of Sam Wagner. Dupree as well looking to get into that top 3 spot. Will be interesting to see what happens here. And first goes to lane 4, lane 5 in second. Eric Dupree picking up third, Wagner picking up second as he was in the 5th lane. And Usan, oh, what a swim from him from UM.
58.48. He dropped another couple of tenths of a second from this morning. You should be happy with that.
One of the 3 19-year-olds in that heat. We're now going into the 16 and over B final here. And Matthew McEwen has shown some good things this weekend so far. He gets placed in the 8th lane. Obviously not his strongest race, you got to think.
No, and that's B finals. So he's going in 16th overall. Out of the sea lines here in Manitoba. Obviously had severe lockdowns, probably very limited training, and for a 17-year-old guy, that's going to make its mark. It looked like he scratched, actually, because now they pulled in the alternate. So you'd see what happened here was you got those alternates. If somebody in the final is a no-show, whatever, the scratch last minute, they pull in one of those alternates. So that'll be Simon, that's now out in lane number 8.
Interesting stuff here, but it is the last final heat for this event here for tonight. The boys 100-meter butterfly. And speaking of lane number 8, he's looking pretty good so far, and that is Simon Wolk-Lind.
Yeah, he was excited to be pulled into the B final last second here as an alternate. Maybe a little too much excitement. Let's see if he can hold on to that, the second 50. Definitely out strong.
Well, he's got the lead to start things off. His name is not on the board because he is one of the alternates. But lane 3 also looking good, and Aiden Dickinson. Natty Bazelman, a name that's been brought up a lot here, but it's looking like lane number 3 of Aiden Dickinson might be taking this one. Bazelman not going to make it easy on him, and the push for 9th, it's going to be interesting coming down the stretch here, Bo.
It's going to come down to the last 5 meters.
Who will it be? We'll get the call in just a moment, and that will be Aiden Dickinson. Just edging out Natty Bazelman.
Natty Bazelman took that extra stroke. Looked like he was a little short on the last stroke. He might have been better off just reaching on that second last stroke instead and trying to get his fingers on the wall. I think that cost him that extra stroke he took into the wall there. And you got to time that. Like when you swim into the wall and you're coming close to the flags, you got to see 4, 5, 6 strokes out. Am I gonna take 6 long strokes here? Am I gonna have 7 shorter ones? Because you don't want to take another stroke when you're a foot from the wall. So you got to time that as you're getting close to the flags to make sure you hit that wall perfectly.
Is that something as a coach that you can coach into these kids to be able to make those judgment calls, or is it something that just kind of comes with feeling as the years go along?
It comes with experience. But yeah, it's something the coaches want to remind these swimmers to look for at all times, especially in butterfly and breaststroke, I would say. It's to keep an eye on that. Freestyle and backstroke, it's not as big of a deal, but fly and breast for sure.
This is the heat 1 of the 200-meter breaststroke competition for the girls, event 9. This is heat number 1, the 12 and under A final. And Catherine Workington finished with the best time by quite a bit coming into this. And she's in lane number 4, and she's starting off in the lead once again. Not once again, but starting off in the lead for this race.
Yeah, the Western time standard for 13-year-olds here is 250, is 256.58. So a little bit of a stretch here, 3:01 this morning, but you never know. At this age group, they might just drop 5 seconds a night, but it's a bit of a stretch, but see what you can do. And she'll have another year in that age group. She's only 12, but to go as a young swimmer to Westerns at that age and get that experience, that would be great. Out in 1:30. So that 256 is likely not going to happen. She's going to be hard-pressed to go to the time she went this morning at 3:01 when she's out in 1:30, unless you got a really strong second 100 here.
The coach is hollering from the sideline. And right now, it is all Workington in this race. Workington coming from the NWN swim team in Ontario. And in this meet right here, the 12 and under A final, there is only Saskatchewan and Ontario swimmers, which is interesting.
Yeah, we seem to be lacking some 12 and under swimmers here from Manitoba at this meet. Obviously, that's an age group that also missed 2 years of training, and with COVID and the restrictions we had, they let the because of the limited swimmers you could have in the pool at one time, they let the older swimmers in, and it really hurt this younger age group. And you can see here, I mean, we got 5 swimmers in the final. This should be a full heat. We got some work to do ahead of us.
And for Catherine Workington, she's looking really good here. May beat her time actually from the prelims. And it looks like she didn't beat it. She went just over the time, but impressive performance from her once again here.
Yeah, this was all about getting that gold medal. Sometimes you put down a good time in the morning, and you just focus on winning it. Maybe not necessarily on the time in the evening.
By far the most dominant swimmer for that age group. Just by looking at the data that I was given and just the results here. Congratulations to Catherine Workington for coming away with the gold for this category. Going into the 13-14A final now. And someone you're familiar with, Hallie West.
Yeah, Hallie had a very, very good swim this morning. She got her trials junior cut. So going into this meet, she only had one standard for trials coming up in Victoria here in early April. But yesterday she got the 200 AM. This morning she got the 200 breast. So she'll see if she can drop a little bit more time here tonight. She's got her lucky suit on, and let's see what that does for her. She might just sneak under 240 here.
And they're off. In lane 4, coming in with the best time, Hallie West.
Cousin in lane number 5, Quinn Snively. Quinn has had a very good season as well. She qualified for Western Canadian Championships, so she's going to Edmonton towards the end of April. She's very strong in the back half.
Yeah, Quinn Snively was someone that was mentioned a lot in the junior provincials. I mean, just from the viewers at home watching her, even if they're not a swimming expert, if they don't know the technique, but seems like she's a natural swimmer out there, very natural looking stroke.
Yeah, definitely. Lane 3, Matea Purdy from Moose Jaw, Kinsman, Flying Finns. That is a team that has a relatively small group of swimmers this year, but a strong history. You had Saskatchewan Hall of Famer Mike Mintenko. Came out of Moose Jaw, also known as the Tank. Mike dominated the butterfly events for Canada in the early 2000s, late 90s. Swam in the 2000 Olympics and the 2004 Olympics for Canada, and got some medals at World Championships as part of the Canadian relays.
And Hallie West, familiar sight for the West family here this weekend as they've just been cruising through the competition. No different in this race for Hallie West, and should be an interesting to see who's going to come in second here down the stretch into the last 100 meters of this race. Of course, Quinn Snively in lane number 5, but in lane number 3, like you mentioned, Matea Purdy.
Yeah.
Apologize to the viewer. That camera keeps freezing, so we can't give them the split screen that we usually do.
Okay.
Working on it, but
Apologies to our viewers. One of our cameras has froze. So you will not be seeing a split screen here. We are trying to get this all sorted out. We've had some technical difficulties, more so yesterday, having some more here tonight, but we will get that sorted out as the weekend progresses and comes to a conclusion here. But Hallie West way out in front. Just needs to finish it strong here.
Yeah, she's on pace to go under 240. She might even go into 237, 238 here. She's looking really, really good.
And let's see what she gets while she gets under.
We had a hiccup on the scoreboard here. Let's see if that comes up with the backup timing. I think she got under 240, but maybe just barely. But that's why they have those plungers. It's like Quinn Snively coming in for second place here, 256, close to her time from this morning.
Nothing up yet for the winner of that race, Hallie West. She did finish in first. Yes, just under 2:40, which is a very impressive performance from her.
Yeah, that's excellent.
15 and over a final coming up here. And Ava Thompson, it's going to be a close heat here. Like, looking at it, a lot of these racers with pretty close times together coming in.
Ava Thompson is another very good breaststroker. She's a good distance swimmer as well, so look for her to finish this one really strong. She may not have the front half speed as some of the others, but look for her to finish really strong. She's going to Canadian trials as well. Going into this meet, Mansa has 4 swimmers that are qualified for trials in Victoria, and she's one of them. Another name to watch here is lane number 5, Emilia Mastro Matteo from the Kenora Swimming Sharks, and you might recognize that name. Her brother was a 2020 Olympian, Gabe Mastro Matteo, in the 100-meter breaststroke. And the mom is a coach out in Kenora.
That's surreal. That's surreal to be able to have that type of connection within the family.
Very strong swimming family. Ava Thompson turning in 4th place after the first 50, and like I mentioned, doesn't have the front half speed, but don't write her off just yet. She's very strong in the back half.
Isabel Hari from the TBT swim team in Ontario out in front right now in lane 5. Mastro Matteo is in 2nd, but making her way into 3rd place is Ava Thompson. And now getting into what you would probably think is her favorite part of the race is the back half of the 200.
Yeah, she's probably already have someone to watch for, someone to catch. She was 4th at the 50. She's 3rd now at 100. See if she can move up to 2nd at the 150. Another name here in lane number 6 is Katie Moon. She's on the target squad for the Canada Games for Manitoba. So she's battling to make sure she keeps that spot and see if she can climb up in the rankings a little bit, so she get a ticket with Team Manitoba for Canada Games at Niagara Falls in early August.
Well, right now, looking like she's in pretty good shape to potentially win this. Don't want to say anything too soon, but she is out in front right now is Isabella Hari from the TBT Swim Club in Ontario in lane 3.
Yeah, Ava Thompson's now moved up into 2nd place, but she's 3 seconds behind her, just under 3 seconds. It's going to be very, very hard to catch Isabel Haro from Thunder Bay. That's a tall order.
Well, here's Thompson making her move now. Can Thompson use that back half speed in the race to catch Hari here? It's going to be interesting coming down the stretch. Hari needs to keep up her pace because Thompson coming right for her. Oh my, she's right on her heels. She's almost going to catch her. Will she catch her? Into the last meters of this race, and it will be Isabel Hari.
Yeah, she just ran out of real estate. Another 5-10 meters, she would have gotten there. She was 3 seconds back at the 150, and she got it to almost within a second here. So very strong finish, like we predicted from Ava Thompson, but Isabel Hari held her off and got that gold for Thunder Bay.
Well, I've seen the circles on some swimmers' backs, and I assume that's the suction cup coming into play.
Yeah, they do that cupping. Along them go to the physiotherapist, and supposed to help them recovery and suck some of the toxins out of their muscles and stretch them out. And some of them look like they overdo it a bit. You've seen some of these swimmers that look like they got 30 marks on their back. But yeah, some people believe in it, some don't. Again, it's probably an individual preference thing. I'm not sure about the science behind it, but I mean, you saw Michael Phelps do it, so that probably tells you a little bit.
Yeah. Michael Phelps, a swimming icon, one of the great Olympians ever.
One of the I mean, their greatest Olympians ever. 8 gold medals hadn't been done before.
Yeah.
It'd be extremely hard to copy that. Might not something we'll see again in our lifetime. Hopefully we will. But that was an unbelievable feat going back to 2008.
He had a very unusual ritual before where he'd be slapping his back with the arms, crossing him over.
Yeah, he's known for that. You see him on certain charity circuits now. He's golf tournaments. He likes to do that before he tees off as well. So that he's known for that. A bit of a showman now. And
definitely a superstition for sure.
Yeah, a lot of swimmers have that ritual and they stick with it. And something you like to do before each race to get in the zone.
And hey, if you win 8 gold medals, you must be doing something right.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, hard to argue with that.
But we're coming up in the boys 200-meter breaststroke now. It'll be the first heat, the 13 under A final. There will be 5 swimmers in the pool that are about to enter the pool, and they do off of the dive and platform and into the water. Now very close, no one getting separation really, but it's looking like lane 4 actually, and Isaac Hune, who came into this with the best time in the prelim course in that coveted lane 4. Starting off strong here in the first 50 meters.
Yeah, UMann has a very good breaststroke club, obviously led by Kelsey Wog, the Olympian from Manitoba, who swam in the 2020 Olympics, 100 and 200 meter breaststroke. And you see Carson Beggs as well in 16 and over final. We'll be watching him in a couple of heats here. So they got something figured out with this breaststroke technique at the U of M.
Well, right now it is Isaac Hune out in front, followed by lane number 3 in second at this point in Matthew Mai. And in lane number 5, Max Rodriguez from Saskatchewan, the FS team in Saskatchewan. But it is Hune right now in lane number 4 who is leading the way. And for Hune right now.
He's out in 128. That sets him up for a really good swim.
Well, in second place is Matthew Mai in lane number 3.
Yeah, the Mansell swimmer in lane 3 here is ranked 3rd going into this final, but he's got a pretty tight hold on the silver medal here. Let's see if Max Rodriguez from the Flatlanders swim team in Saskatchewan can make a move here in the last 75 meters.
Well, for Isaac Hune, you got to be thinking that just keep up what I've been doing in this race, and I should have it. But will be interesting. Always interesting to see the people way out in front. I mean, we've seen it sometimes where these swimmers way out in front, and then the last 25 or 50 meters or so, the swimmers behind, they put in a strong performance and end up catching them.
And it's tough in breaststroke because quite often you don't see the competition coming, right? You're looking straight ahead every time. In freestyle or in backstroke, you might be able to take a glance and see who's behind you and to see if they move it any closer. In breaststroke, you don't see that. You get a quick glance at the turn, maybe underwater, but other than that, you just got to swim your own race if you're in front.
Well, for Isaac Hune, it's looking like a gold medal is in his grasp. Looking at lane number 6 now in Max Dilley. He's looking to have a strong finish to his race coming down the stretch, and he might grab second. Will be interesting to see. It's either him or Mai will grab second, and it will be Max Dilley coming in second, Rodriguez coming in third from lane 5.
I think we had a light touch here again on lane number 3. I think Matthew in lane 3 from Manchester Swim Club. I think they'll come up and correct it. I do believe he came second, but sometimes these touch pads will not register right away.
Right.
See behind the blocks they have the red plungers, as they call them. It's a backup timing in case the touchpad fails, and there we go. They came up and corrected it, so Matthew did get his get second place there.
Yeah, it has happened sometimes in this event so far where, I mean, I'm looking and it looks like someone has touched the wall before everyone else and then end up coming like 6th.
Yeah, when you're lowering electronics into a pool, sometimes
It might
short
not go
circuits
the
happen.
best,
Yeah,
so yeah.
and some of these touchpads, I mean, they'll replace them. They'll bring them out if something keeps short circuiting here. They'll pull it out. And they got spares, but they do wear out over time as well.
In lane number 5 to start off here strong, Tam Doan. And tell us about Tam Doan. I mean, he's a swimmer that we talked about last time in the junior provincials quite a bit when he was racing.
Yeah, he is from the Manitoba Marlins. He got a lot of strong boys over there, and they got a decent-sized team here. He's going out fast. Got some racing under his belt at junior provincials, and some of these swimmers that have Sask maybe didn't enter junior provincials. They focused on this meet, but I think some of these Marlin swimmers that got that little bit of racing under their belt, whatever they can get, because it's been so sparse here the last 2 years of racing opportunities. Any chance you get, you should take advantage of that now, and it seems to be helping him out. We'll see if he can hang on as we come into the turn for the second 100 here.
This is the 14-15A final, and right now Tam Doan leading the way. But gotta still race another 100 meters to finish it off. Getting a good push off the wall there was in lane number 4 of Jerome Timpug. In lane number 3, I'm pretty sure he is in 3rd at this point, in Nathan Mendoza. It's either him or lane 6 of Elliot Boucher who was in 3rd at this point.
Yeah, this is really a race between 4 Manitobans here. They're trying to put themselves in a position to get on the team for Canada Games in August.
Well, Tam Doan has 50 meters to go for him to win this race. But right behind him in lane number 4, Jerome Timpug.
Don't write him off.
This will be a very close finish. Hear the crowd noise, folks, if you can. You can hear the coaches whistling. And look at this. Jerome Timpug down the stretch, looking like he might edge out Tam Doan. Let's see what Tam Doan has. It will be interesting who will get between these swimmers. I'm thinking it might be Timpug, and it will be Jerome Timpug taking home the gold in this race.
Yeah, but a great time for Tam Doan. He was 2:38 tonight. He went at 2:43 this morning. So he went for it. Obviously, evidently, that first 50, and he probably paid for that first 50 at the end. But he laid it all out in the line, and it was great to watch.
Yeah, it was that last 50 meters that he wasn't able to quite hold on, and Timpug proving that his endurance may be the strategy for him a bit better in this race than Tam Doan.
When you're talking about the 200 events and up, you don't want to overdo the first 25, the first 50. You want to get in the right rhythm and right pace time, but sometimes if you overswim that, you saw that even in the 1500 yesterday, certain swimmers, they get in, they're excited, and they just they kickstart that heart rate a little bit too aggressively on that first 50, and they pay for it. This is a heat I really want to watch here. We got lane number 4, Carson Beggs, former of the St. James Seals. He's now with the University of Manitoba Bisons. He's trying to get his trials cut, so he's got to go at 2:22. Let me pull the right time here. He's going to go at 2:22.41.
Well, that's the time he's hoping for to qualify for trials. And right now in lane 4, it is Carson Beggs who is in the lead. And, obviously it happens when, maybe they don't pace themselves, these swimmers, and they pay for it in the end in longer races like this if it's 200. Does that come down to just the mindset coming in, the nerves getting to it? I'm sure that's a variation of factors that go into it.
Especially if you haven't done it for a couple of years, you're so excited, right? And that just sometimes gets the better of you. That excitement, that adrenaline. And you just gotta calm yourself down. Some people like listening to music. Some people try to get themselves pumped up. But sometimes you gotta do the opposite. You gotta calm yourself down. Carson Beggs out in the 32 here. He's got to be out in I would say a 109. or faster, maybe a 108 to get under that 221. He's on 108.78. That gives him a 36 on that split, so he's on pace. He's on pace to go under that trials cut. I'll give him a ticket to go to Victoria in early April. He's looking really good.
Looking really good, and his
stroke is super nice and long, and that's the type of swimmer that, he's watching that wall already. He's timing it. He's narrowing it down, so he hits that wall right at the full extension. There it is. Perfect wall. 145.51.
He's coming into his last 50 meters of this race. What does he need again to qualify for trials?
He needs to go at 222.41. He split another 36.7 on that 50, I think. He's out fast. Hope he can hold on. It's going to be very, very close. 222.41 is his ticket to Victoria. He's getting shorter here. You can tell he's hurting.
He's almost there. He's about 3 seconds out or so. It's going to be close, and he just missed it. Just missed it.
2:23.16. Missed it by about 7/10.
And you can see the look on his face. He knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
He's disappointed. This is the last chance to qualify for trials. So, he's got the opportunity in the 100, even in the 50. But that is too bad.
You still got to be happy with getting gold, but at the same time, like having a bigger goal in mind, having trials on mind, it's tough. But like you said, he's got a good future in the sport.
Yeah, Carson's been at this for a long time. He's got lots of gold medals from this meet over the years. He was not looking for medals here. He was looking for that time standard, and he's disappointed. He gave it everything he had. He went for it, and I feel for him.
Well, we'll now be going into the mixed 50-meter freestyle multi-class event.
So this is our para swimming. We got a lot of para swimmers in town here from Quebec. They got a national training center in Quebec for para. We got a really strong program there.
It will be, a lot of swimmers from Quebec here.
Mm-hmm. So
that's Ontario swimmers, Para Storm.
Yeah, that's the local Winnipeg team. You see Matt Miller as his ex-coach, Ian Grunwald, who used to coach Matt Miller when they're on the St. James Seals. Now Matt Miller is swimming for Para Storm, and Ian is coaching for Manta. But obviously they have a relationship still. They got some trust built, and you'll probably see Ian here making sure that Matt is stable on the blocks. So he's allowed to sort of hold on to him, make sure he doesn't slip off or something like that. So you see a couple of coaches here. They're allowed to give them a hand as they're getting up on the blocks.
Just as we have some time here, folks. This is only the second day that we're doing this out of the 4. We will be here for all of the swim meets, the prelims and finals throughout this weekend. I know, Bo, you'll be on the call with me for all the finals that are going to be swam here. But I just want to thank, I thank them, of course, today, but ASTV and myself. We want to thank Swim Manitoba for putting this on and choosing us to broadcast the event, as well as the kind words from Swim Saskatchewan that we've been getting, the kind words from all you guys on social media, from our Facebook to our YouTube to our Twitter as well. It really does mean a lot in a sport that we've never broadcasted before.
Yeah, definitely exciting to have you here. It's nice to be able to broadcast this for the swimmers, parents that aren't allowed to travel or aren't able to travel.
More about where you can watch us on ASTV. Of course, we are free to watch this event and so many others. But We're getting into swimming now, and in lane number 4, it is Cosgriff on the VAD swim team from Ontario, out in the lead to winning this race.
Yeah, this is actually, it's a bit unique because each of these swimmers have different disabilities, and you can see the numbers after their name, what category they're in based on what disability they have. So they're not necessarily racing each other. They're racing the clock, and then they compare that to the standards of the world record, whatever it is, to see where they end up placing. So you may have come 8th in this heat, but actually get the gold medal.
Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting to know. So we're now going to be moving on to the girls 50-meter freestyle event. So this is, I think you guys call this the sprint of swimming. Oh
yeah, this is a classic. This is one of those things that sometimes it's just a natural talent. It's one of those things that it's sometimes hard to train for. It just requires an immense amount of power and that fast twitch muscle, and sometimes either you have it or you don't. Ellie
Bodnar, a name that we've brought up today already, and has had some success in lane 4. You know, speed burner coming in.
Yeah, she looked like she had lots of speed on that first half of that 100 fly. So I would expect her again to favorite going into this heat here.
Well, as we wait for these swimmers to start off, I guess they're starting on the other side of things now. It's the 50-meter freestyle event for the girls, the 12 and under A final. And they're off. And it is in lane number 4. Man, this is close to call right now. Who is going to be getting it? Lane number 4, looking like she's living up to the hype in Ellie Bodnar. Lane number 7 was keeping up for a bit. She still is, but it's looking like Bodnar may take it. Will be interesting to see down the stretch. It's going to be very close, and it will be Ellie Bodnar coming in and taking the final, taking the gold for the 12 and under A final.
Yeah, she was 30.15 this morning. Just marginally slower tonight. She was probably hoping to pull off a 29 here. Sometimes that 30-second mark is sort of a magical barrier for these young kids. It's always nice to get a 29 up on the scoreboard instead of a 30. So she'll have to wait. Maybe she'll get a chance leading off a relay or something later on tonight.
Coming in, it's the...
This is the B final for the 12 and under. So we actually got a decent amount of 12 and unders in this event. Enough for an A final and a B final, which is good to see.
And right now, it is insanely tough to tell who has the advantage. I think it may be in lane number 7 of Bella George. And Bella George trying to beat her opponent right beside her to her right in that 8th lane. Will be interesting. I believe that George will come down and win this. No, it will be lane number 6 and Kate Liebrecht, and Bella George came 4th, so this was a very, very close race. But Kate Liebrecht,
only about 18 100ths of a second separating first and second here. Sometimes that's just somebody taking an extra couple of breaths maybe that they didn't need. So you'll see that as you're watching the older swimmers, they really limit their breathing, especially the last 15 meters going into the wall. Just keep their head down.
And here we go into the 13-14A final.
Great start for lane number 5 here. That's Isabel Maggers from the Goldfins, Saskatoon.
Isabel Magus looking to take home the win here. She's looking real good. Will she be able to finish it? It's all about those last few meters, right? And it will be Magus coming away with it. Finishing in first, taking home the win for the 13-14A final. Coming up next, the 13-14B final.
Yeah, 8/100ths of a second separating the first and second place there between Saskatoon and Regina. They'll have many more battles in the future for sure.
Here we go. Lauren Anderson in lane number 4. Favored in terms of time coming in. Oh, these swimmers, it is tough to tell right now who quite has the advantage. Who are you liking here so far, Bo?
Well, keep an eye on lane number 2. She's keeping her
number
head
2,
down.
Lane number 2.
She's got that straight arm recovery.
Sadie
She
Anderson.
might surprise him.
But it's looking like it might be lane number 5 and Makaya Arnott. And it will be Makaya Arnott coming in. Sadie Anderson in lane 2 gaining the, clinching the bronze medal. But Lauren Anderson in lane number 4 finishing in second.
Yeah, so this was a B final, so technically it's
yes,
9th, 10th, and 11th place,
right,
but she got a 29.99. She'll be happy to see that up in the.
Forgot about that
actually,
technicality.
well, it looks like she already went under this morning, so so maybe not such a big deal. But
I forgot about that technicality.
yeah, the consoles.
Yeah.
So
Any names stand out to you here?
well, Shazam in lane number 3 had a very, very good junior provincials.
The 15 and over A final here.
But you got the 2 19-year-olds in the middle lanes, 20-year-old over in lane number 6. They have the experience.
Pangilly. It will be close to tell who gets it here. And it will be in lane number 4 of Hannah Chanel.
So that was a clean sweep for the University of Manitoba Bisons.
Wow.
4, 5, and 6. Taking all 3 top spots on the scoreboard.
Amazing.
They've always had a very, very good sprint program. They really just focus on the 200 events and under. As the coach says, 13 out of the 16 previous Olympic events are 200 and under. They don't spend a lot of time training towards the 1500 and the 400s when 13 to 16 events really are 200 and down. So they focus on that. That's one way to do it. Certainly know what they're doing.
This is the 15 and over B final now. And winner of this will place 9th. And for right now, it's looking like, man, another close race to call here. Close, too close to tell. Lane number 5, it might be Burwell coming away with the win. Let's take a look here, and it will be Burwell coming away with 9th place.
Actually, it's tied for
tie.
first in this B final.
Yeah.
28-39. Both Maggie Sutherland and McLaren Burwell.
So we get ready to call the next 3 races. Like you've talked about how certain teams, they're very good in some aspects, but in other aspects they kind of struggle. What did that come down to, from the coach, where they're trying to figure out what I want to exactly focus on and want to try to see my swimmers do the best in?
Yeah, and sometimes it's these coaches are, they're very good. They can probably coach anything, but sometimes also it comes down to your access to facilities. Like the St. James Seals here in Winnipeg train out of the St. James Civic Center. That pool is extremely warm. It's also the arthritis pool of the city or something. So it's very hard to train for 1500 in a pool that's that hot because you just get exhausted before you even get going, right? So it depends on what you have access to.
Right.
Maybe you don't have as much pool time. Maybe you spend more time in the weight room, and that usually bodes well for the shorter distances.
Well, talk more about the teams here later on, and as this broadcast throughout the weekend really goes along here in the finals with Bow West. But here we go, the first heat of the 50-meter boys freestyle event. This is the 13 and under A final, and look who it is, Rimso Unke Chika, who's been so dominant in absolutely everything we've seen him in.
He's looking great. Great distance per stroke, keeping his head down, no breathing into the wall.
And wow.
26.78. Great swim. Great swim from Rimso.
Lane number 3 in Lucas Buick coming in second place. In third place, it was Addie Bailey Ross in the 6th lane. Going into the 13 and under B final now. And winner of this gets 9th for this age group. And
nice underwater work here from both of them, Wandenhever. Sometimes in these age groups, you see them stay underwater. They work on a dolphin kick. And at 12 years old, sometimes they may be better off coming up and swimming because they're faster in the surface than they are underwater. But you really want to encourage them to work on that underwater, because once they figure that out, you know, it's really going to benefit them. May not pay off today, but it will down the road.
So I guess I'll ask you about this. You know, just what's the biggest thing you want to get into a young swimmer's mind? You know, would it be technique? Would it be focusing on speed? What's the things you want to nail out first off to really get them on the right path to being the best swimmer they could potentially be down the road?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of technique work, and then you want to foster the love for the sport, right? You want to make sure they stay with it, because it doesn't matter if you're a great 10-year-old, if you're not going to swim past 11, it's really a shame, right? So you want to make sure you foster that, you have some fun, you have relays, do whatever you can to make sure they have a good time, you know, when they're here, because you want them to stick with it. But you want to build that technical foundation. You want to build the character, the work ethic, and then everything else will follow.
And it is going to be close. Lane number 5 occupied by Haleko. Will he be getting the win here in this 50-meter race? And yes, Martin Haleko. Got to be very happy with that. Obi Nguyen coming in second place from the 4th lane. And in third, Cooper Klein. And that was the 14-15 A final.
Yeah, Martin Haleko there getting under 26 seconds. Great swim. You'll be happy with that.
We're into the 14-15 B final now for the boys in the 50-meter freestyle. And they are off.
Good reaction time there in lane number 5 of Ben Lang, 0.63 seconds. You see it up on the scoreboard. They'll show the reaction time. That's world class.
And looking like there's going to be some interesting placements here. Who's going to finish this race in first? And that will be in lane number 2 in Ian Gennis finishing in first. Isaac Louis finishing in second in the 3rd lane. And in the, I guess there was a tie there.
That was a tie, yeah. It's a tie for second in the heat. Jacob Bell from Mansa.
Coming up on this one now, Ty Unroe. He's on the outside. Could he potentially be a sleeper in this one?
That's a tall task. You know, you got the University of Regina swimmers in lane 3, 4, and 5. But
right now, Ty Unroe looking
might
pretty
be on
good.
to something.
And who's it gonna be? Oh, can Ty Unroe pull this off? Oh, it's looking like lane 4 might though, and it will be lane 4. Ovesh Purahu. And Ty Unrow finishing 5th, but you know, I thought he might have made me look pretty darn good there for a second.
He did. I think at 35-meter mark, I think he was still hanging on to the lead, but you know, the older swimmers here, and at the end just turned it on and held on, and maybe it's just a smidgen more of fitness level there and power, and they were able to finish the race.
Well, that was the 16 and over A final. And going into the 16 and over B final now. Oldest swimmer in this heat is Zach Freeman in lane number 3 from the Rod, Saskatchewan team.
Raid Kostelnik in lane number 5. He came out of the St. James Seals program as well. He's a good breaststroker. Now part of that sprint program down in.
Did you catch the disqualification there on Tanner Sanders?
I didn't, but in the 50 freestyle, it's not much you can do wrong other than a false start. So either that or he went too far underwater. But other than that, you can pretty much do anything you want in a 50 freestyle. So it's either he went past 15 meters or he false started.
Jaden Belouz into this one is taking a look at him. He's from the Gold Saskatchewan team. 18 years old. Zach Freeman, the oldest out of this group in this heat. But, oh, these swimmers, a lot of waves being created here in the water. They're going hard, and it is in lane number 4, I believe, might have a bit of an advantage, but looks like he might be slowing up just a bit. This is going to be a close one to call, but it looks like it might be lane 4, and I believe it will be. Jaden Belouz coming in first place, coming in 9th for his age category.
Yeah, that's a time that would have been close for medals had he been in the A final in the morning. So he was just off qualifying for that A final this morning, and he ended up in the consolation. But with that time, I didn't catch the bronze medal in the A final, but he might have been in the medal hunt there. But you got to be in the A final, or you can't sleep in the morning.
Got to eat those Wheaties in the morning, come prepared.
Yeah.
So.
Got to get up early.
Well, I don't blame these kids though, because I'm not the biggest morning person, but
you know, it's funny you see that with swimmers, though, that there are some swimmers who are just always better at night,
right,
than they are in the morning, and sometimes that's great to be good in the final, but if you're not in the final, it doesn't help you, right? So, especially if you get to the international level. Get to the Olympics, you have to be good in the morning. You might be able to get away with it here at Sask, but when you get to that next level, national, international level, you cannot sleep in the morning.
It's a whole different beast, and taking on not to say that these athletes are slouches or anything, but you're taking on like the best of the best at that point in the world.
Yeah, you got to be up early. You got to be ready.
Yeah.
That's something they train, though, too. You know, these people train in the morning. Sometimes coaches will start focusing on doing your race pace, your sprint, your speed work in the morning, just to get them in that habit of having the speed early on.
Now that we have some time, as they are setting up here for the event 15, which will be event 15 and event 15A combined together. It's the mixed 50-meter backstroke multi-class, so we're going to see some pair swimmers coming up here.
See some of the lanes, some of the swimmers elected to have the backstroke ledge in. It's a little sort of triangular wedge at the low end of the water that helps the swimmers get a better push off so they don't slip on the wall. And some swimmers like to use them, and some like not to.
Just want to let you all know that you can watch us live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, on our website as well. And you can also download the Boxcast app and watch us on that on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Plus, ASTV is also now on 20 U.S. cable networks. Our website is amateursports.tv or astvproductions.com. Search up any one of those and it'll bring you to the same place, and download that Boxcast app because it does allow you to have some cool features if you're watching our broadcast. There's one thing I'm interested about because we've seen it in sports. Hockey is the one that comes to mind because the equipment has just evolved so much to where it was at back in the 80s to where it's at now with the technology that's at the hands, at your fingertips. What have you seen in swimming? Have you seen anything in swimming in terms of the technology? Maybe the equipment they're using has gotten better.
Yeah, the only thing that really keeps tweaking here are the swimsuits, right? So. And you saw that in early 2000. I think it was the Australian Ian Thorpe who all of a sudden showed up in a full bodysuit, and that was allowed. You could do that back then, and it created a little bit of extra buoyancy. And then all of a sudden, everybody started using it. You started seeing swimmers in suits they call them tech suits, right? And just starting to really push that limit until FINA came in and said, well, we got to put an end to this because it's getting out of hand. So you see world records that are standing from 2009 because they were in these tech suits that they really outlawed after that. So those world records are really hard to break because they had different equipment that was allowed back in 2008, 2009 that they can't use today. So now they put a limit in. You can't have the full sleeves. You can't have the full legs. You got to cut it off at the knees. You got to cut it off at the shoulders. And for men, it's a waist, right? Waist to knees, and that's it.
Nah, that really isn't fair, having that type of advantage out there.
Yeah, and it was strange because it helped certain swimmers a lot, and it didn't help other swimmers as much. So it was really weird the effect it had. Other than that, there's little things. Obviously, the backstroke leads, they added that a number of years ago. Now gives backstrokers a bit of an advantage, better push-off, helps them propel themselves out of the water a bit better. Good on the water here from lane 5, taking advantage of lane 4. Taking advantage of the full 15 meters you're allowed to do, and that's another rule that changed back. That changed back in the mid-90s, Graham. Back in the early or the mid 80s, there was an American swimmer called David Burkhoff who all of a sudden started doing 25 meters underwater in dolphin kick. And you see her again here pushing off the walls. She's going to take advantage of that. She only went 5 or 6 meters this time. But he would go 25 meters underwater all of a sudden. That was kind of unheard of. Most swimmers just came up and swam.
Yeah.
And then after him, others started following. The Russian swimmer Denis Pankratov, he started then going a full length of butterfly underwater. American teenager Misty Hyman started doing the same thing. She would go on her side and dolphin kick on her side the whole way. And eventually FINA came in and said, well, this is not very spectator friendly. Swimmers are going to soon be doing the whole thing underwater, and spectators don't know what's going on. So they outlawed that. They put in the 15-meter rule. So that's as much as you can do right now. If you go anywhere past that red mark on the lane lines of the rope hanging over, you'll get disqualified. Your head has to surface by the 15-meter mark.
Right.
So, and they called that the Burkhoff Blast-Off back in the 80s. He came known for that, and as a matter of fact, his daughter, Madison Burkhoff, is now a very high-level American swimmer. She came third at the U.S. trials in 2021, just missed out on a spot on the Olympic team. She's at the NCAA championships here this week. She's doing very well, not just to the under. She's got an underwater kick like her dad did, but obviously now you got to be able to swim as well, and she can.
Yeah. I'm a bit confused as to what happened there. I saw 4 swimmers come back. I saw the other 4 stay there.
Well, they combined the 2 heats, so they had they had a 50-meter backstroke for
Oh,
4 of
I
them, and they
see.
had
I
100
see, I
for
see,
the other
I
4.
see.
So it was
Yeah.
because they were trying to save a little bit of time here
Yeah.
and combining some heats.
Yeah.
But it does create some confusion, makes it hard for our cameraman. Yeah. So
And might need a new producer here at some point, folks. Might need a replacement for our producer that we got over here. We apologize for all the technical difficulties, though. Really, we are happy to be here and being able to do this swimming. I mean, it's come with its challenges at times, but it's getting into the groove of things. Lots of fun to call these races here, Bo. You know,
at least a little bit of excitement
yeah.
today, right? The 1,500 meters yesterday would get a little bit long, but the 50s here today, the 100s, it's a lot more action.
If I did have to give my personal opinion, not the biggest fan from a broadcasting standpoint for the 1,500 meters.
Yeah.
We're into the 12 and under A final for the girls 100 meter backstroke.
Again, here for the 12 and unders, we only have an A final. There is no B final, and it has to do with the number of entries in this event. So if there's, I think it's less than 20 maybe, less than 20 entries, then they will not have a consolation final. They will just have the A final at night.
It's a quick race that is going to happen right now with a bit of an advantage, but right behind her, with the advantage right now in lane number 4 is Zimonik. But in lane number 5, Vanaski right on her tail, almost on par with her, almost mirroring her. But right now, Zimonik with the advantage. Zoe Zimonik in first right now, going into the final 50 meters of the race. Sophie Vanaski behind her, but it is Zimonik, Zoe Zimonik, who is out in front. And looking like she will finish this race strong.
It looks like Sophie's stroke right there in lane 5 has just dropped a bit, and she's going to be in a battle now for silver. We got this
Lane number
coming on
6.
strong in lane 3 and lane 6. This is anyone's race for silver medal here. You could get a silver, you can get 4th.
And it will be Zimonik, Zoe Zimonik in lane number 4, finishing in first from lane 4. Rogoza in lane number 6, overtaking Vanaski for second place.
You know, and I thought Sophie there had it in lane number 5. I thought she had that silver medal. She just took an extra stroke into the wall. Backstroke, it's hard for young swimmers. You really got to nail down that stroke count. From when these backstroke flags you see that are 5 meters from the wall, you got to keep working on that stroke count. So when it comes down to race time, you know exactly where you are and how to stretch out for the finish. That extra stroke might the cost of the silver medal.
Heat number 2 now, 13 and 14A final. There will be a 13 and 14B final. And
got Hallie here in lane number 4 again. I don't think anyone is going to be able to get close to her. Michaela in lane number 5 is another swimmer that's on the target squad for the Canada Games Manitoba team.
And you said that she was wearing her lucky suit tonight. What's that lucky suit look like? I see some orange, some blue in there.
That's the orange and blue one. It's a new race suit that she's got. She's just trying it out here a few times from Sask. She got it for trials. I'm not a fan of the $500 suits for 12, 13, 14-year-olds, but I told the kids, once you get to the national level, you know, then we'll make that investment. Hopefully somebody else will pay for it. But yeah, it's just there's so many things you can do in training and in racing that's going to give you more of an advantage than the race suit. But sometimes a difficult conversation. They want to look like their idols and want to look like their competition. But those tiny advantages you get from these $500 suits, they're really nullified if you don't streamline properly or you don't nail your turn, right? So.
Right. Well, it was Hallie West. Whatever she's been doing, she looking to continue to keep it up here into the other races that she will race in, because that's another victory for her tonight. And lane number 4 really winning this one with ease. But talking about that, the price of equipment, did not even know that some swimsuits cost about $500. That's crazy. So
suit right there is a $500 suit, and you're talking fractions of a second, hundredths of a second that they may help you, right? So
yeah,
I mean, there's certain places in the world where they just straight up, I think in USA Swimming, they outlaw them for 12 and unders. They don't spend your money on this racing suit. You know, when you're talking about the benefit of a couple of hundredths of a second, you know, when they get to that higher level, national level, international level, for sure. But at the age group level, you'd rather keep that money in the bank.
Yeah. Invested for something later on, of course. But we are into the third heat now, the 13-14B final. Caitlin Helgeson coming in with the best time. But it is a pretty close heat in terms of the times from the Laser Saskatchewan team. She is in lane number 4, and right now, not out in front. It is actually lane number 2 looking very good in Bryn Curtis, and lane number 7 in JC Lutz.
Yeah, these are all very, very close in their preliminary times from this morning. This could be anyone's race.
Right now in first it is Bryn Curtis, and she will get first in this. The winner of this heat gets first in this heat, but will get 9th in total. And it's looking like JC Lutz here, and very strong, but lane number 3 also looking good too, and Haley McDonald. It's going to be very close, but I do believe, if my eyes are correct, just looking at it, that will be JC Lutz that will finish in first. And no, it was Haley McDonald. It was about that reach at the end there.
Yeah, 12 100ths of a second separating them.
That was a pretty entertaining race there. Going into the
A final for the 15 and over.
15 and over A final.
We got Hallie's sister Mia here in lane number 4. This used to be her best event when she was young, and today it's probably her weakest stroke. So all you age groupers out there who have your favorite stroke, is a reminder to make sure you practice all your strokes. Full stroke exploration, event exploration, before you specialize, because you never know what's going to end up being your best when you're a senior swimmer.
I would like to
Amelia Master Mateo here on lane number 3.
Yeah.
You saw her earlier. See if she's got something left in the tank.
Well, Mia West out in front right now. And I do want to apologize, Bo. I've been calling her Maya. It is Mia.
It's
I am
Mia.
remembering
Yeah,
it
it's
now.
Mia.
It is Mia. So from now on, we got that covered. We got that covered. So.
You're not the first one. Hallie gets Haley a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're mispronouncing a lot of other names here. But yeah, feel free to come up and see us if you're in town and correct us if need be.
Well, it is Mia West out in front, and she's looking very comfortable here in that 4th lane. And yeah, Mia West looks
working
like
on the stroke rate. Looks like it's slowing down a little bit into the wall here. She's been trying to get that stroke rate up. It's very important in backstroke, more so than any other stroke, I would say, is really get your stroke rate up.
we'll be seeing the 15 and over B final coming up here. I'm sure we had this conversation last time, but when you're a swimmer starting out, you really work on all the strokes, and then once they get comfortable and really find a liking into one, you start working with them more in that particular event.
Yeah, for sure. Like Mia, like I said earlier, when she was young, the 200 backstroke was probably her best event, and today the backstroke is her worst. She couldn't do breaststroke at all as a kid, and it's yeah, one of her stronger ones. So you never really know. You want to make sure these swimmers are working on all 4 strokes.
Yeah.
Really explore all distances too. You may end up being a distance swimmer, even if you prefer to swim the 50 free.
And Quinn Mayhew in lane number 6. Looks like she's got the advantage here early on. In the first 50 meters, coming back for the last 50 meters now. She is out in front, Quinn Mayhew of the U-Men's swim team. But looking at lane number 4 as well, and Samantha Peace of the Laser swim team in Saskatchewan, looks like she's starting to gain the lead. Of course, she will place, winner of this places first in the heat, but 9th overall for this age category. It will be close between Peace and Mayhew. Who will it be finishing first? The touch on the wall goes to Peace. She gets it. And Mackenzie Clark in the first lane coming in at second. And I could have sworn that Mayhew came second, though.
No, I think in lane 1, she looked like a bit of an outside smoker. She dropped almost 2 seconds from her morning swim, so she had a very good race.
That'll conclude the girls' backstroke, the 100-meter backstroke for the girls. We're now moving into the boys, and 100-meter backstroke, 13 and under, A final in Heat 1, and some familiar names once again in the 4th lane of Rimso Unke Chika, and in lane 5, Kian Wu.
Yeah, swimmers are allowed 7 events at this competition. So I think Rimso is into his 3rd event here today. So he's got a heavy Friday, so he'll end up with a lighter schedule on Saturday and Sunday. Just because you max out at 7, you can't do more than that.
So that's within the whole event. You get
when the whole meet, all 4 days, you're allowed 7 individual events plus the relays.
Right.
But he's got 3 here tonight, so he's 4 events on the other days.
13 and under A final coming up here. Nice to see the faces here in the crowd here tonight, watching and taking in some talented swimmers. Not a totally packed house here on a Friday, but great to see some fans in the stands.
Yeah, I think people got to get used to it again, being out in the crowds, right? Some people may still be comfortable. You see even half of them wearing masks and half of them are not. So I think people got to get used to it a little bit. Hopefully over the weekend here we'll see this crowd build.
Lane number 6 starting off with the lead, and Lucas Buick catching up to him, and try going around. So I did just get a message. We are going to try to sort this out. There seems to be no link on our website here tonight for our finals that we are broadcasting, only prelims from today. Hopefully we can get that sorted out. Going back into this race though, it's Rimso Unke Chika. Man, is he strong in these last 50 meters, it seems, in these races. But right behind him is Kian Wu in lane number 5, who's vouching for second here. It will be Unke Chika, Rimso winning it. Kian Wu as well.
And Rimso a little bit slower than he was this morning, so he's starting to see some of the fatigue set in here in his his third race of the evening.
US for a second. Oh, no good. No, all good. Sorry about that, folks. We have to mute ourselves. Just working out some technical difficulties, but like you were saying, Bo, this event here coming up now in this backstroke portion.
Yeah, this is the 14-15 final. We'll recognize lane number 5, Devin Lusk from Junior Provincial here in Manitoba a few weeks ago. He really cleaned house. This is Ben Lang from Manta.
Ben Lang out in front from Manta, but it is Devin Lusk keeping pace with him. The crowd getting loud here, cheering these swimmers on, going into the upcoming last 50 meters of the race now. Right now in second, Devin Lusk. In first, the leader in lane 4 is Ben Lang, but they're coming down the stretch here into the final 50 meters. Oh, look at this race from Ben Lang. Gotta be happy with this so far, but it's about how you finish. Making a move into second, potentially in lane 3. It's gonna be Harlan Lowe, but it's looking like Ben Lang will take this one home. The crowd making noise, it's getting louder in here.
His teammates are going crazy for him here. He's looking for 1:04. Oh, he was looking for 1:04.12. 1:04.12 was his standard for Western Canadian Championships. He was 1:04.18. He missed it by 6/100ths of a second.
And Devin Lusk actually coming in at 4th in that event, with Cooper Klein coming in.
Another heartbreaking finish here. We've seen a couple of those tonight, and you know, it's tough. He may get another shot at it. He does swim a few other events, and maybe the double, the 200 backstroke, or he might be able to lead off, you know, the medley relay later on this week. Get a shot at getting his time standard there. On the relays, the first leg of the relay will be an official split, and the second, third, and fourth swimmer will be unofficial, will not be official best times, but the leadoff will be. So we'll see if he gets an opportunity to get another crack at it and find a way to take 6/100ths of a second off.
We're into the 14-15B final in the 100-meter backstroke for the boys. Right now, out in front. Oh, tough to tell. Well, going into the final 50 meters of this race will be, lanes 4, 5, and 6. Pretty much identical with each other right now, mirroring each other.
Yeah, really too close to call at this point. Looks like lane 5 may be gaining a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, looking like lane 5 may take it here, and that is Jack Coots. Jack Coots, will he get it? Will he touch first? And yes, Jack Coots can come away with that victory in the B final for the 14-15 age group. Even though he came in 9th in total for this age category, he finished first in the seat. Well, this is what now? The final heat for this event tonight, the boys 100 meter backstroke. This is the 16 and over A final?
That's right. And the trials cut here in 100 backstroke, 10011. 10011 is what the 18 and under swimmers are looking for in order to, that's a junior time standard for to swim at trials in Victoria. And I think Matthew Rohy in lane 4. He's got a shot at it.
Lane number 7 starting off strong here. Sam Wagner will be interested to see if he can keep up his pace. Lane number 5 gaining some traction as well. Now on the lead in Braden Stacy. Braden Stacy now into the lead there in lane number 5. It's close to tell who is in second right now. But it is Braden Stacy who has gained the lead in second. Eder Rising. And in third off the wall is Matthew Brow in lane number 4. But it is in lane number 5. Braden Stacy still out in front. Will anyone be able to catch him? They're coming down here in the stretch of these last 50 meters. Has to be in the last 25 now. It is looking like Braden Stacy will be coming away with the victory here, getting the gold medal in the 16 and over A final. Congratulations to him. Lane number 4, Matthew Brow finishing in second. Lane 3 getting third there.
Braden Stacy missing his trials cut by about 0.7 of a second. He's looking really strong the whole way and just out of reach.
So, I know we saw it yesterday. I'm not sure what is going to be happening. I know that they're going to have the 200 meter freestyle relay coming up. But we're going to see more different events tomorrow, like individual medley being more included.
Yeah, I have to check. I mean, this swam the 200 individual medley prelims yesterday. That final will be tomorrow night.
Right.
So, and then I suspect that the 400 medley will be on Sunday. I'm looking forward to that. I'm a big fan of the 400 medley of all things. You got to be well-rounded. You know, if you haven't been working on your breaststroke, you're going to be exposed in that event. If you haven't been working on your butterfly, it's going to show up. If you haven't been putting in the work in the 400 IM, you're going to be exposed. So I'm a big fan of that 400 IM. It's really, it's just sort of the class act for me. One of my favorite events to watch is you really have to put in the work. There are no shortcuts to dominating in that event.
Right.
And interestingly enough, it's the oldest standard world record in men's swimming. Belongs to Michael Phelps. He's 400 IM from the 2008 Olympics, and nobody's been able to come close to that since. And he was just extremely well-rounded. Like he world record holder in the freestyle, world record holder in the butterfly. He probably could have won the Olympics in backstroke. Could he fit it into his program, right? Breaststroke was his weakest event, but again, still a world-class breaststroker.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to that. 200 tomorrow, same thing, a little more speed.
You must need to have that discipline as a swimmer in the 400 individual medley. Just knowing that there's so many variations, so many variables in terms of what types of strokes you're doing, because you're not only doing the freestyle, but you're doing the backstroke, the breaststroke, and the butterfly as well.
And it's interesting to watch, especially in the 400 IM long course. There'll be a lot of lead changes. You'll see someone way out ahead in butterfly, but they can't do backstroke, right? So you'll see lead changes 5, 6, 7, 8 times throughout that race. So it makes it fun to watch.
Now this is event 19 and event 19A for this third session, the finals here. They're combined. So we got the mixed 200 meter freestyle and the mixed 400 meter freestyle multi-class as well.
Yeah, so you're going to see lanes 1 to 5 are going to be swimming the 400, and lanes 6, 7, and 8 are going to be swimming the 200. So again, this is a pair. You can't compare where they end up. placing in the heat. You got to look at the category that they're competing in to see who's going to end up winning.
Well, looking really good in lane 5 right now is Cosgriff, and for Cosgriff, you know, a 16-year-old has been really, really impressive in these events.
Yeah, she's looked really good. Really nice freestyle stroke. Good streamlined push-offs. Breathing right out of the turn, usually something you try to remind the kids not to do. Keep your head down, get a good breakout, and take that breath later.
Now, is that just something that could slow them down doing that? Is that something that could bring disqualification? Why is that?
No, not at all. It just slows them down a little bit. Unless you got really good head position, but that breath usually will slow you down. You're better off just popping out of the water and carrying that speed for as long as you can, because that speed you got from the push-off and from your underwater work, that's as fast as you'll go on that lap. So you want to carry that through into your swimming.
I assume with the breathing, because there's kids who start out that all they're thinking about is taking that breath, right? It must, once again, like everything we've been talking about, really just comes with time and an experience of coaching that up.
For sure, especially as you start working on kicking that 15 meters underwater off for every wall, right? That becomes hard on the lungs. You really got to work on that in practice. Sometimes it's mind over matter. Your lungs are screaming for air, but you got to keep your head down.
Yeah. Got to have that willpower to carry through. Yeah.
So that's a halfway mark. Cosgriff in lane 5.
Yeah, Cosgriff. So, you know, there's all these different, like this is, she's from it says BAD, Ontario. BAD is her swim club. What does that stand for?
I'm not sure exactly what team that is. There's so many clubs in Ontario.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, usually the Manitoba one's a Saskatchewan I'm fairly familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly where BAD is from, I'm not sure.
Coming up later on after this event, we're going to have the girls 400 meter freestyle, event 21, and then event 22 will be the boys 400 meter freestyle. And then we'll end off with the 200 meter freestyle relays.
Yeah, so usually in the longer events, you know, in the 15 or 800 that we'll see, they will eliminate the B final. They are still doing it in the 400s, but it'll usually only be an A final and probably in the 800. We'll see. Sometimes they do a time final. The 1500 yesterday was a time final, just so they don't have to go through the prelims and finals. Save a bit of time in the meet.
Whistles from the crowd, and in terms of this race here for Cosgriff, you can find it here. All of these swimmers actually who were supposed to be in the 19A event in the mixed 400 meter freestyle, they have no time mark coming in. So
yeah, so it's could just been a time final for them. To see whether they ended up even swimming it this morning.
Yeah, and just for all of you watching, if you are watching this, we're working on getting our live stream posted on the website. Not sure what has happened. Sometimes with technology, it's just stuff happens. and we're trying all we can to get it up, but yeah, it's I gotta say it's a lot more humid in here this time around. I see you're wearing the shorts and the t-shirt, Bo, so I think, I mean, I always say I will, but I think I might be bringing the shorts tomorrow with how humid it is.
It comes a long day if you're boiling hot, so gotta stay hydrated, stay cool.
So Cosgriff finishing with in first in the heat, but of course that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What matters is how their time within what type of category they are swimming in.
That's right. We'll give the other swimmers just a bit of time to breathe here, catch their breath, get their warm down in, maybe refuel a bit. We're coming into the finish for lane 4 here.
That's good. I think it's on.
Mine also.
Yeah. All right, folks. It seems like we have gotten our link on our website for this meet here tonight. This day 2 of the Sask Winter Provincial Championships. So obviously this is a huge event, something that's been hyped up, that's been talked about since we've really been introduced to swimming here at the Pan Am pool. Is there an event that is bigger than this throughout the season that swimmers are looking forward to? Obviously there's like nationals and stuff, but what's an event that comes close to this one, the Sask event?
So we have Sask, happens twice a year. So usually it's in March and then again in July. So that happens twice. We got the next level up from that is the Westerns, which is Manitoban and Western provinces, or in the East it's Easterns for Ontario and East. That takes place in late April. It's also a long course. And then from there up you got your junior nationals, which are in the summer. You got your senior nationals or your trials, but depending on when the main international meet of the summer happens, that trial competition will move around a bit. Other than that, the main competition here in Manitoba will be the Prairie Winter Invitational that takes place right before Christmas. So that's sort of the big meet of the fall at clubs here in Manitoba, and we got clubs from Saskatchewan coming in for that as well. Prairie Winter has been around for a long time, and that's a very, very popular, very big meet, fast meet. Takes place here at Pan Am as well. That happens right before Christmas. So, and that's short course, 25-meter pool.
Nice.
And then you got your international meets or whatever meet is on the program this summer. It happens to be Canada Games, which is every 4 years. That was postponed from last year. It was supposed to have been last year. Now ended up being 2022. That's in Niagara Falls. On the junior international circuit, there was supposed to be World Junior Championships in Russia in August. They canceled that. They canceled that meet a few weeks ago. And Swimming Canada, USA Swimming, Swimming Australia, and the Japanese Swimming Federation got together and try to figure out what else are we going to do for these junior swimmers. And they put together the Junior Pan Pacific Championships that now announced it's going to take place in Hawaii at the end of August instead, because the Russia meet was canceled for obvious reasons. Now they got that carrot in front of them to try to make that junior team at trials here to get a trip to Hawaii.
So event 21 starting up now, the girls 400-meter freestyle event. The 12 and under A final is underway now. Ellie Bodnar from Ontario, one of the oldest in this age group here in this A final. It's Zoe Zimonik and Gabriel Bergeron, the other 12-year-olds in this group.
Ellie Bodnar, I think that's her third race of the evening as well. She's got incredible stroke rate. See if she managed to keep that up. I think she will for the full 400 here out in 32.09. That's a strong first split. And a 5.02 this morning. See if she can settle into a good rhythm.
And I noticed this today from Mia, just like how she one stroke, a breath, and then right back into the water. A fast second arm coming into the water. Is that something that is a type of strategy that some swimmers use rather than others?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine line between limiting the amount of breathing, because it does take you just sometimes it slows you down a little bit. But then again, longer races, you want to get that oxygen in. So a lot of swimmers, and Michael Phelps included, breathing every 2. The trick there is making sure you keep good head position, good body position when you do breathe. And if you do it well, it's not going to slow you down. But a lot of kids have a tendency to kind of lift their head, slow down their stroke when they take in that breath. And that's what you want to try to avoid. So the key here is getting that head back down, get a quick breath. You want to exhale when your face is in the water. So when you turn your head to breathe, you just got to do a quick inhale, and you get your head back down.
Whoa. Ellie Bodnar cleaning up right now in lane 4, indicating that you're the favorite coming in terms of you finished with the best time. And Ellie Bodnar, I mean, wasn't even close in the prelims within this group. She, the clear favorite coming in, and she's living up to that once again.
Yeah, Ellie Bonner is keeping up her stroke rate. She's got a very fast stroke. It's a little choppy, a little short to work on her. Sometimes it's a fine line between having a high stroke rate and having a good distance per stroke, being efficient. Obviously, if you can do both, well, that's a golden ticket. But it is a fine line for these swimmers working on distance per stroke and stroke rate. Seems to be working for her, the stroke rate here. She's keeping it up.
And in lane number 5, Zoe Zimonik is in second place at this point. In third place in lane number 3 is Gillian Kimmins. Ellie Bodnar has been the story really every time that she's been in a race here tonight. And really anytime she's raced here this weekend, this week so far.
Yeah, she's dominating this age group at the moment. So, like we said earlier, some of these swimmers are a bit younger. She's 12. She's 12. Ellie Bodnar is 12. She's at the top of her age group. So is Zoe in lane number 5, but Gillian Kimmins in lane number 3 is only 10, and she's hanging in there.
Oh. Look, it's lane number 3. Gillian Kimmins, yeah, like you said, a 10-year-old, and she showed very well earlier on in this third session tonight. I believe she was the one who came third in one of those races.
Yeah, she did very well early on. I think it was the 100 butterfly maybe. It's looking very good.
Do we got 2 more turns here, or is where exactly are we at in this race right here?
We're coming into the finish here.
To the finish. Okay, so Ellie Bodnar will finish with the gold for this age group in this event. Finishing in second will be Zoe Zamonik. And in third place, adding another bronze to her resume, looks like it will be Gillian Kimmins from the Rod Swim Team in Saskatchewan.
Ellie Bodner taking just about a half a second off her time from this morning. Considering that's her third race of this evening, that's a strong performance. You should be pleased with that. That's not an easy triple.
And Burgoyce in the second lane, finishing in fourth. Gabrielle Bergeron finishing in fifth in lane number 6. And Piper Lejbak finishing in 6th. But, you know, that you bring that up, you know, with how many races that a guy like Rimso Unke has raced tonight, Bodner as well, and the others that race multiple races, I mean, how do you keep yourself, you know, try to keep yourself fresh, ready to go for the next one, even taking into consideration that not every race is like the other.
Yeah, usually they have their routine. They will they'll go see their coach first of all, to get some quick feedback on their race. They'll grab the water bottle, they'll maybe grab a quick snack, and then they'll head to the other pool behind the wall there, and they'll do their warm down. So depending on what you just did and then the type of person you are and how much lactate acid you had, you know, the warm down depends on that. I think Mia yesterday had to do 1,000 meters warm down after her race yesterday, just to try to work all that lactic acid out of her muscles, so she's ready for today. But they'll do that in between every race. It's important to get a few carbs in. They'll maybe have a power gel or applesauce or something, just to get a little bit extra fuel in, make sure they stay hydrated. It'll help them get ready for the next one.
We are on to the girls 400 meter freestyle 13 and 14A final.
Yeah, this is Caitlin Liu in lane number 5. She's going in second here, but I'm going to keep an eye on her. She's having a very good season.
Caitlin Liu, first off the bat, but Ariel Patz coming in with the best time into this heat, into this final.
Yeah, and Ariel Patz just a bit behind here in the first 50, but it's a long race. So sometimes you want to pace yourself. You don't want to get too excited on that first 50.
For Caitlin Liu, she is in first here in the first 100 meters of this race. 300 more to go. And right now, it is kind of looking like a flying V a bit out there with these swimmers, with just how they're lined up in terms of their placement in the race right now, where they're at.
Yeah, it's pretty textbook here with the fastest swimmers from this morning in the middle. Caitlin Liu is out well ahead, but see if Ariel Pat's got a better back half. This race is far from over.
And looking at lane number 3, that is Abby Brown right there. And Abby Brown, taking a look where she's from Ontario, TBT, and she is a 13-year-old in this 13-14A final. So, for Abby Brown, trying to potentially, you know, place as the younger age out of the age group here.
Yeah, and I think what you saw, like Caitlin Liu's time from this morning, she might be going in second here tonight, but she was actually entered in a 4:35. So she might have dogged it a little bit this morning and saved her energy for tonight.
Well, it's definitely paying off so far. Caitlin Liu has looked on fire in this race, is really looked confident. And Ariel Patz in second place. In third place, in that third lane, Abby Brown looking at fourth place as well in the sixth lane in Lauren Anderson. is Caitlin Liu, who is out in front, and she hasn't really even let up. Like, her stroke rate is look the same throughout.
She's got a steady kick going. Nice. Let's see if she picks it up a little bit on the last 100. Yeah, she's looking very smooth. This time of 4:35, she's gonna be hard pressed to get that time tonight. She's out in 3:29 into 300. She may be closer to the 4:40 mark here. Looks like Ariel Patz is trying to pick it up.
I think her coaches wanted her to pick it up too. I heard the yells from the side of the pool there.
Yeah, we got some swimmers hanging around on deck. Looks like they may have allowed them to stay and cheer today. Yesterday they were pretty strict on that. So I'm glad they're cutting them a little bit of slack. It does help when you got your teammates with you on deck.
Coming down the stretch here, and it is all Caitlin Liu. Ariel Patz, she is giving it her all, but it's no possibility of her catching Liu for that gold. She will place in silver, and let's take a look at this here for bronze. It is Abby Brown looking to hold that position, but in lane number 6, watch out, Lauren Anderson. Will Lauren Anderson get bronze in this heat here? It's looking like Lauren Anderson will get it. And Lauren Anderson touches the wall first, just before.
Tie.
It's a tie.
It's a tie in the 400. That's unusual to see a tie down to the 100. So they're going to have to fish 2 bronze medal out of the cupboard here at Swim Manitoba and award these 2 girls a bronze medal each.
They must hate ties then, hey, having to fish out the extra hardware.
Really cutting into the budget, yeah.
Yeah, really cutting into the budget. Well, what an exciting finish there for bronze, and it ended up being a tie, but Caitlin Liu has been highly talked about tonight. And here we go. We got some heavy, some big favorites here coming in. Mia West as well as Ava Thompson will be swimming against each other. And 2 swimmers very good at the long distance events, you'd have to say. Hey, Bo?
Yeah, I mean, Mia's usually more of a sprinter, but you know, this is sort of not her main meet. She's getting ready for trials in a few weeks, so she's swimming off events here this weekend and playing around with distance swimming. Her best time is just about a second and a bit off of the Manitoba provincial record, so we're looking for 4:19.05 here in this 400 free for me out in 28.97.
And Lara Hodges out in second here. She is in lane number 3. In lane number 6, it's looking good for Jamie Puhowski. And just looking at this group, this is not only having swimmers like Mia and Ava in it, but Jamie Puhowski has shown some good things. Lara Hodges has been very good so far. I mean, there's some really talented swimmers in this group alone.
Yeah, Jamie Puhowski is an interesting story. She swam for the Mansa coach, Tommaso Panizza. He joined the Mansa a couple of 2.5 years ago. I guess it's 1.5 years ago, right as COVID was getting started here. And he used to coach Jamie in Thunder Bay, so he was the previous head coach in Thunder Bay, and then he moved to Mansa, and some of these Thunder Bay swimmers have come out, and they come out and train here. Jamie is actually billeted with a family here in Winnipeg now. She's trying to get her standards for trials, and also trying to put herself in a position for a scholarship at a U.S. college. She's taking a couple of recruiting trips next week. She's going down to Idaho. Her sister, Lindsay Puhalski, is second or third year swimmer at the New Mexico State University, so she's taking a recruiting trip down there, and that's just what a lot of these swimmers have in mind. They're trying to get that elusive scholarship to continue their career and get their education paid for. Me out in the 2:08.57.
Yeah, Ava in fourth place at this point. Mia in first place, of course. Lara Hodges in the third lane in second. Puhowski moving into third place, so she's in top three at this point. But it is very close right now between Thompson and Puhowski. Puhowski just having a slight advantage just over Thompson in this event so far.
He is a little bit off her pace here. She's going to have to pick it up this last 150 if she wants to get down to that 4:19 provincial record. Close battle for silver and bronze here, though.
It's Lara Hodges, Thompson, Ava Thompson, and Jamie Puhowski who have established themselves as the top four so far. Taking a look at lane 6, though, or lane 7 actually. Katie Dillon making a bit of a push here late.
Yeah, we saw Ava Thompson in the 200 breaststroke almost make that comeback. You know, she's really strong coming home, so watch for her in lane 5 in the last 100 here. See if she's got an extra gear.
There's Mia West. Said we're going into the last 50 meters here for her.
That's right. So she's going to come in and we want 4:22 or so, a couple of seconds off her best time. A little bit faster than this morning, but not quite down to that provincial record. Now she's 15. That provincial record is 15 to 17-year-old, so she's got time. It's always nice to check them off. Very close for bronze here between the two teammates.
Well, Lara Hodges in lane number 3 looks like she will get silver here, and right now, well, they're neck and neck pretty much. It looks like Ava Thompson has a bit of an advantage here over Jamie Puhowski, but it will be close. It's looking like it will be Thompson who gets the final reach here, though. Lara Hodges trying to hold on for silver, putting her head down and going, and yes, she will get it. And it will be Ava Thompson coming away with the bronze medal here in this girls 15 and over A final in Heat 3 of the 400-meter freestyle event.
Yeah, these girls were trying to get there. Western Standard, Jamie Puhalski, she was looking for a 4:37. She had a 4:41 there, so just missed it by a few seconds.
Of course, I would say a lot of swimmers like these, the 200 meter events, but the freestyle event, which is coming up here later on.
Yeah, the freestyle relay.
Yeah, freestyle relay.
Yeah, that'll be popular. It'll get these teams fired up. It's always a fun event.
This is the last heat of this event for the girls, 400-meter freestyle event. And coming into this, Sydney Peace. I feel like that's been a name that I've heard, at least the last name Peace quite a bit. But Jada Dickinson as well. She's in third. She's in the fourth lane, but Hayne Halderson in the third lane and first in this heat right now.
Yeah, Indy Halderson Haynes is from the Manitoba Bisons here. She's with the early lead. It looks like lane 4. Jada Dickinson is moving up now.
Take a look at lane 8 as well. Ava Harlos having a pretty good swim for herself so far.
Might be Hannah Zhang with the early lead at the
lane 6. Top 3 right now is Zhang, Dickinson, and Harlos coming off the wall there.
Yeah. Hannah Zhang, you saw her younger sister Anna Zhang in the A final for the 13, 14-year-olds sisters with the Mansa Swim Club.
And just want to let everyone know, if you are at home watching on our website, amateursports.tv, with our new media player, you can rewind the races while they're going live. So if you missed a race that you wanted to see, you can rewind to any part of the broadcast during the live stream that we're doing, and check out a race that maybe you wanted to see that you missed.
Real nice feature for the swimmers as well. They can go back and watch their race, right?
Right.
Look at something with their coach. Maybe they need to pick something out they need to work on and fix for tomorrow even, right? So it's really a great feature to have.
And you can also come back at any time and take a look at it anytime you please. And, you know, looking back on these great moments that these swimmers are building here.
How long does that stay active on your website? Like, how much time swimmers have to go back and capture that race? Is it something that goes down at the end of the weekend, or does it stay up for a week?
Well,
or?
it stays up on our Facebook, our YouTube forever.
Okay.
For our website, every time we have a new event. So the prelims aren't on the website anymore, but we do end up having them on all over our broadcast places like our Facebook and YouTube. So those are the places you can check it out.
Right.
And we got other places too where you can watch Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire. So
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Lots of options.
quite a bit of places. 20 different U.S. cable channels as well, which is great. So.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, adding swimming here, I never thought personally I'd be announcing swimming, broadcasting it, but here we are in 2022, on to newer and exciting things here.
We'll try to get you hooked by the end of the weekend. Keep you coming out. We're happy to have you. It's a real nice feature, especially for parents in Saskatchewan, right? They alternate these meets, so the Man Sask will be here in Winnipeg this spring, and they'll be in Regina this summer, and next year it'll flip-flop as well. So a nice feature for those parents and kids that didn't make it or can't travel to watch it from home.
And lane number 8, it's Ava Harlos right now in the lead. And what are we coming up on here?
We're coming up to the last 50 here.
Last 50 meters. So Ava Harlos, can she hold on? And second off the wall was Jada Dickinson, and she looks like she has a chance to get first here in this heat, but it's looking like Harlos just a bit ahead of her in the water. It will be very close between her and Dickinson. Also in lane 6 right there, and Hannah Zhang. Looks like she'd be pushing for third in this heat, but getting 9th in total for this age group will be Ava Harlos, finishing first in this heat. Jada Dickinson finishing second in this heat. Hannah Zhang third in this heat. And as you can see on, well, we don't have it on the scoreboard right now. Our camera has cut off. Actually, we do have it on our scoreboard right now. I'm not sure if it's frozen.
These are the type of things that, well, you know, Regina Optimus Dolphins going 1-2 here in the consolation final, right? Surprising out of lane 8 and coming up for that runner-up finish. It all adds up in the points for the overall team score. So you might think, oh, I'm in the consolation final. Maybe I'll scratch it and save my energy for something tomorrow or something later on. But it's important to keep doing that. Do it for your team. Do it for that team score. Especially if you're Regina, maybe you're down a few numbers. You want to defend that title. You're going to need every last point you can get.
This is the boys 400-meter freestyle event. The first heat, the 13 and under A funnel. And right now it is Landon Kennedy in first by just a bit. Right there with him is Ahmad Banani. And in the third lane is Pelzer. First name being Nathaniel Pelzer.
This is a pretty aggressive first 50 here for these boys, considering the times they went this morning, about 5:24, 5:28. Got into 35. It's pretty aggressive. They may pay for that later on.
Right now it is Kennedy in the lead. And Kennedy coming from the gold team in Saskatchewan, racing against another fellow Saskatchewan swimmer. And Pelzer in this heat, in this 13 and under A final. Ahmad Banani from the Manitoba Marlins swim club here in Manitoba. He has fallen behind quite a bit. And right now, Landon Kennedy falling out of first place, and it's Ahmad Banani. Sorry, Pelzer is in the third lane, Banani in the fifth lane, who is in first right now for the Manitoba Marlins.
See Landon Kennedy in lane number 4. He's breathing to one side only. He's actually alternating. He's breathing to his left, going one direction, and to his right, going in the other direction. So he can constantly keep an eye on the competition here. It's a bit unusual. Usually kids will favor one side or the other, or do bilateral, constantly alternate. So that's interesting.
It is interesting because there isn't anyone that is on his right-hand side, and he's alternating the breathing.
Yeah, like coming down the other way. So see, Ahmad Banani is breathing every 3 consistently, so he's alternating.
We're into the last, the last 200 meters of this race?
Yeah, they're halfway here.
Well, it looks like Ahmad Banani right now is become the favorite here in this heat to win it. Don't count out Landon Kennedy, but
yeah, he's within striking distance, and he's keeping a close eye on Ahmed. So he may just have something left in his pocket here in the last 100. I think he's actually closing that gap now a bit. He's within a second.
This is where I'd have to think all the technique, the practice pays off in this last stretch.
Yeah, you want to have a nice and relaxed recovery. Spend that energy when you pull underwater. See, some distance swimmers will keep a very slow 2-beat kick, and others will be able to keep a steady 6-beat kick the whole way. But in order to keep that steady kick the whole way, you got to do lots of kicking practice. Takes a lot of work.
Into the final 100 here for Ahmad Banani, and in second place right now in lane 4 in Landon Kennedy. And will it be the Manitoba Marlins Swim Club product from Manitoba, or will it be the Gold Saskatchewan?
See, Landon Kennedy brought himself to within about 0.6 of a second going into the last 100, and he's making his move now.
Oh, he's looking really good here, and it's going to be interesting on the push, the turn here off the wall of where these swimmers will match up coming down on the last 50 meters.
It's going to come right down to the wire.
Need the push. Oh, Kennedy a bit faster on his turn and push, but Ahmad Banani still within striking distance here. And this will be tough to call. Who will win this one? Will it be Banani or will it be Kennedy? Kennedy still in front. Banani giving it his all to catch him. Kennedy giving it his all to stay ahead. It will be interesting to see what will happen here. The final touches to the wall, and it will be Landon Kennedy coming away with it in the 4th lane.
Yeah, 0.2 of a second, real close race here. They really pushed each other. Dropped. Ahmed was 10 seconds faster than this morning. Landed about 6-second drop, so they pushed each other. It's great for them. Help each other shave some time off.
Even Nathaniel Pelzer able to cut down his time.
Yeah, good swim for him as well.
Well, there's some familiar faces here. Joe Sumner going to be in lane number 2 Notice a lot of Harlem Low as well as Devin Lusk. But Rhett Smith coming in as the favorite, 15-year-old in this 14-15A final in heat number 2 for event number 22 for the boys 400-meter freestyle event.
I was watching Joe Sumner yesterday. I think he got water in his goggles in the 1500. That's a long race to do if your goggles are full of water. Hopefully he got that taken care of and fixed for tonight here so he doesn't have to have that battle in the 400. Devin Lusk is going for it.
And getting the water in the goggles has to be the worst thing, just swimming casually. Couldn't even imagine. You're swimming 1,500 meters and you get the water in your goggles.
Yeah, it is tough in a race. Michael Phelps, of course, famously would break Michael's goggles sometimes at a random meet right before the start just to get him to have to race with broken goggles or without goggles. Just in case it happens in the Olympic final, you want to be able to deal with it. So,
I feel like that's some outside of the box thinking too.
It's definitely unconventional.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't too popular with Michael there after that incident.
Lane number 4, Rhett Smith is out in front right now. Lane 6, Devin Lusk in second. Lane number 5, and Harlem Low. So the middle portion of the pool right now is out in front and leading the pack.
Yeah, Devin's time this morning was 4:44, so certainly looked like he was taking it easy this morning. He's on pace to go a lot faster than that here tonight.
Out in front, Rhett Smith, along with Devin Lusk is behind him in second. In third place at this point is Harlem Low. But it is looking like Rhett Smith came in as the favorite with the time he posted in the prelims and is been very solid here on this Friday night in this event.
He's in a real nice rhythm here. Good stroke, great strong kick.
Right now, out in front, it is Rhett Smith leading by quite a bit. Moving into second from the last time that we called it is Harlem Low, but right behind him still, trying to keep pace for second spot is Devin Lusk.
We're in the last 100. 3:18. I'm on pace to go a little bit faster than this morning.
That is Rhett Smith, lane number 4. He's really been having a fantastic final here for the 14-15A final.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here in the battle for second if Devin Lusk got anything left here in the last 50.
Need that turn push off the wall, which Low gets before him, but Devin Lusk, it's going to be a tough go for him down the stretch. Does he have another gear to give?
Yeah, he found his legs here in the last 50.
Look at Harlem Low going, wanting that silver medal.
Almost looked like he had a little too much left in the tank.
A very good swim from him there. It was Rhett Smith who dominated, but Harlem Low, no slouch himself in this race, able to, outwork Devin Lusk at the end there, just outlasting him. And like you said there, Bo, looked like he had a bit too much left in the tank.
Yeah, he might have taken a little too easy up front, not paced that race for White the right way. On the other hand, it's nice to see swimmers have that burst at the end. And some swimmers just have that, right? And, but you never know. He might have put that turbo on a little bit sooner. Just shaved a couple more seconds off.
Eric Dupree coming in here in the 16 and over A final in the 4th lane with the best time coming in out of any swimmer in the prelims. And we are off here. And take a look. It is in lane number 4. I'd like to think that is who is out in front right now, Eric Dupree.
Eric Dupree with a 4:10:31 this morning. And the standard for trials is a 4:10. The junior cut is 4:10:18. So he missed that by about 12, 13 100s this morning. So he's going to be looking to see if he can get under that 4:10:18 cut here.
Lane number 4, Eric Dupree still out in front. In the 5th lane and in 2nd place right now, Sergi Yanis. And for Sergi Yanis, he's from Rod, Saskatchewan. Not sure if you've had a chance to watch him much, but from what you've seen from him this weekend, what have you liked about his swimming?
I watched him yesterday in the 1500. He was really aggressive out on the first 50, first 100. And then he got into about the 500. That's when Eric took off. So it'll be interesting to see here whether he can hang on to the full 400 or whether Eric again is going to be stronger in the back half. Because it did look like Matthew Sergianis had a bit more front end speed. So
when you have two swimmers as talented as Dupree and Sergianis, obviously you don't want to discredit the rest of the competition, but knowing that's the guy that you have to beat if you want to win. Do coaches tend to key in on things of how do I beat this guy, how do you beat this guy, rather than the rest of the competition? Is that a strategy that goes into it?
Well, sometimes you kind of want to, at the end of the day, you want to swim your own race, but if you know that Eric Dupree is going to have a really strong last 100, you're Matthew, you want to say, well, I got to have a bit of a lead going into the last 100 because you know Eric is going to finish.
Well, and it is.
So he might try in here at the third 100. He's thinking, I got to get ahead, I got to get a lead because Eric's got the last 100 that I might not be able to beat. So he's trying to make his move here, maybe on the third 100. Built himself a little bit of a cushion, but really it's neck and neck right now.
Yeah, it is as close as it can get. And it is Sergianis who has moved out into first off of the turn there, but it's looking like Dupree gaining a bit of an advantage on him now. Will definitely be between those two for gold, you'd have to think, in this heat. Looking at lane number 6, Ben Stewart is in third place at this point.
They're going to post a good time here. Let's see what they got coming home the last 100. 3:05.68. He's well on pace here to try to get under that 4:10 mark.
Looks like Dupree has the advantage right here. Sergianis, let's see what these guys can do off the turn, how close it'll be coming home. It will be very close coming home.
Yeah, he built himself about 0.6, 0.7 seconds of a cushion here. Eric, he is a strong finisher. It's going to be him. It's going to be hard to catch.
Yeah, and Eric Dupree, you see Sergianis giving it his all. At least that's what I'm sensing by the emotion on their faces from what we can see, but it will be looking like Eric Dupree can potentially get it, or will it be Sergianis? And who touches first? And that will be Eric Dupree coming in first with Sergianis.
4:07.25, yeah. That's a great split. Junior cut, 4:10:18, so Eric is under that. Unless he already had it short course, he added himself another swim here for trials, so he's got to be pleased with that, and he's getting another crack at this event in 3 weeks in Victoria.
So Sergianis coming in second. The goal going to Eric Dupree. We're now on to the 23rd event, the girls 12 and under 200-meter freestyle relay. Will be the NWN team from Ontario in lane 4 taking on the gold team from Saskatchewan.
Yeah, so you're going to see now 2 swimmers in either end of the pool for this 200 freestyle relay. And only 2 teams here. Got a Northwest Norwals and a Saskatoon Goldfins. So they're going to get some cheap points here for the overall standings.
So we got a bunch of relay stuff coming up. It will be all 200-meter freestyle, starting off with the girls 12 and under. Be event 23. Event 24 will be the boys 13 and under 200-meter freestyle relay. Event 25 is the girls 13 and 14 200-meter freestyle relay. Event 26, the boys 14 and 15 200. Event 27, the girls 15 and over 200. We'll have 2 heats there, as well as 2 heats in event 25 for the girls 13 and 14. And for the last event, the event 28 for the boys 16 and over 200-meter freestyle relay, will also be seeing 2 heats there. But first things first, the girls 12 and under 200-meter freestyle relay getting set to go here. So what's going on here? We're going to see swimmers from each end of the pool.
That's right, yeah. And usually you start out with maybe one of your faster ones, and traditionally you put your fastest swimmer on the anchor, but sometimes it's a swimmer that needs an official time, and that very first lead off is the only split here that counts as an official best time. So if you're going second, third, or fourth, whatever time you end up getting, even on the electronic scoreboard, it doesn't count because you got that rolling start where you can time you push off the blocks here. So sometimes you put somebody who's maybe battling for to make a cut or a standard or something, put him first, but traditionally you put your anchor at the end, or at least a swimmer that mentally is the toughest when it comes down to a close race.
Well, we are getting set to get this started. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow in the morning. First race is supposed to start at 9 for the prelims on day 3, session number 4 in the whole event. And we'll be back here for finals tomorrow night as well, starting at 5. Will be session number 5 at that point on day 3. Of course, Bo, you'll be back for that. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll be here tomorrow night again. To have a closer look at the event lineup and see what we got in store, but there'll be some relays likely as well on Saturday night.
So forget who you mentioned here, and I'll let you look at the events first before I ask you this next question. But while Bo is looking at that, I would like to remind you all that ASTV Productions for events like these is free to watch. You can check us out on our Facebook, on our Twitter, on our YouTube, or on our website. Our Facebook is ASTV Productions. Twitter and YouTube is Amateur Sports TV. Our website is amateursports.tv or astvproductions.com. And if you download the Boxcast app, you can get Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV+. We are on 20 U.S. cable networks, and actually the Boxcast app is separate. I want to tell you guys about that. Yeah, with the Boxcast app, you can download the Boxcast app to watch us live on your TV. And also, with our new media player, if you're watching on our website at amateursports.tv, with the new media player, you can rewind the race that you want to see. Great feature for not only, parents who couldn't be in attendance maybe, for friends, but also for the swimmers like Bo was saying, and as well as for the coaches as well, to take a look at the swims from this broadcasting standpoint.
Here we got the relay takeovers. There are small switches inside the block that'll catch if the weight comes off that block before the previous swimmer touches the wall. It'll measure that time standard, but it's not always reliable. So what the referees will usually do is they will watch when those toes are leaving the block, and then they'll look down on the wall and see if the previous swimmer has a hand on the wall. If not, they'll call that a false start and disqualification. So we're just trying to get our timers, referees lined up here, because we got to be at both ends at the same time. So, Well, I think on the girls' side, Manta has a really strong team. University of Manitoba Bisons, they're also always very strong in the 50s and 100s. So they'll always have good relays. And Saskatoon's got a big team. So we got a lot of swimmers here. It's traditionally a very strong club. And then Regina as well. Regina Optimist Dolphins, smaller team this time around. So they may not have full relays in every age group. But usually they do have some high-level swimmers here.
Getting some things sorted out before we start here, but I'd also like to thank our sponsors of ASTV Productions here once again, in Case Financial Group, Dokes Bulk Fuels, Evolve Green, Toby Hockey, Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, Supplement King, and Winkler, as they are just a few of our sponsors that help us bring you these amateur sports events. But also, I'd like to thank Swim Manitoba once again for choosing us and letting us broadcast this event, coordinating with us of where the best place to set up would be here in the broadcast from a broadcasting standpoint. There has been some technical difficulties, but we have worked our way through them. And
looks like meet management here is trying to sort out a few technical difficulties as well. Wait for them to get it all sorted out. Tomorrow night we have the medley relays. 200 medley relay. Do the back, breast, the fly, and the free. Tonight we have the freestyle relay. And on Sunday night is a unique event to this meet. It's the provincial relay. So Saskatchewan will pick 4 swimmers in each age group from any of the Saskatchewan teams to do a Saskatchewan relay. Manitoba will do the same thing. Ontario will usually try to put together something. Alberta, if they have enough. And then they'll race head-to-head. And that, you'll see the excitement. There's a lot of prestige there in winning those provincial relays. And swimmers are super excited to get picked to be on the provincial team. So that's sort of the highlight of that meet for me is Sunday night here. It's going to be rocking. It's going to be fun. It's
going to be a rocking house on Sunday night, and it's going to be exciting for us to be here, to be on the call with you, Bo. Just try to contain that excitement, though, just a bit. We don't want the listeners at home to have their ears go deaf. So.
Yeah, it gets pretty loud, and it's nothing official. It's strictly for bragging rights.
Right.
So that's fun here, right? So it's not only in the gridiron with the Blue Bombers and the Rough Riders know it gets cooking in here on Sunday night.
Well,
These provincial relays.
Don't bring up the Blue Bombers with our producer, Glenn Munford. He's a Saskatchewan Roughriders fan, sadly.
We might have to throw him over.
But it's always fun to have some fun with all the different rivalries. Provincial rivalries are the same. I mean, you're like you said, for bragging rights, these swimmers will be swimming for on Sunday. Now, is that type of relay with the provincial teams for the swimmers selected? Is that something that's been introduced recently? Is it something that's been going on for quite a bit?
As long as I've been part of this here, and I guess Mia now 15, she probably was first time here when she was 8. So at least the last 7 years they've been doing that. I'm sure long before then. I think it's a long-standing tradition, and the swimmers really enjoy it. So it's something that certainly they hope to continue to do. They did change it a bit. They ended up doing, instead of a 200 relay, they ended up doing the 400 relay for the older swimmers, just make it a bit of a longer race. I'm not sure if that was necessary, but that's the decision they made. It's really just more for the fun of it. So
we do have a hold up here still, folks. And I'm not too sure what it's for. They're sorting things out. The officials talking with volunteers talking with amongst themselves here.
looks like meet management is going lane by lane here and maybe just sorting out, make sure their officials or timers looking for the right thing, when to do the plunger, when to do the stopwatch. With fewer swimmers qualified this time around because the lack of meets and maybe the lack of training, obviously that leads to fewer volunteers as well. So it's something that governing body will need to look at. Do we need to look at these time standards? You know, this meet was supposed to be in 2 tanks in prelims. The morning was supposed to be in the training tank for the boys and the main tank for the girls, and vice versa the next day. And because we have fewer athletes here, they decided to put all of the prelims in the main tank and the finals in the main tank all together. Just because we have fewer swimmers here, which is really a shame. I would have liked to see them maybe cut these swimmers a break who hasn't had the opportunities, who hasn't had the training opportunities. Give them a chance to be here anyway. They stuck with it. Something that we need to talk about.
We'll switch in subject here for just a moment. I just want to take a look at the Winnipeg Jets score. I'm sure there's some Jets fans out there. It's tough being a Winnipeg Jets fan, but they are battling for a playoff spot right now. And for the Jets, well, after the first period against the Boston Bruins, it's tied 0-0, so scoreless in that game still. Just got to ask you this, Bo. Since coming to Winnipeg, I mean, once you moved here, you've been, you know, a big fan of the sports scene here in terms of the teams that Winnipeg has to offer.
If I have a particular favorite, you mean? Is that what?
If you just enjoy just the entertainment that these teams bring.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Winnipeg is a great city. It's great size. We got the NHL team, we got the Blue Bombers, but you're not dealing with. I mean, coming from Toronto, I lived in Toronto for 5 years, and you know, you have the sports teams, you get the concerts, but you don't dealing with the traffic and some of the things that come with when you're the size of Toronto. So here we go.
And we are off here, the 4x50 meter freestyle relay event.
So Northwest Norwalls did exactly what we talked about. They're putting maybe their best swimmers first and last. But this is Ellie Bodner, obviously their top swimmer. They're hoping to get out for an early lead and see if they can hang on to it.
And Ellie Bodner has had a strong evening for herself. She's first to the wall there. Thought about finishing over a second behind her in terms of time. And right now in the pool, it is Piper wedged back in lane 5, trying to gain on Sophie Vanaski, but Vanaski with a strong performance here. And now coming up into the final 100 meters now of this freestyle relay. And into the pool now is
sometimes the reason why you put your first swimmers or your fast swimmers first is try to get that lead so you got nice clear water. Sometimes, especially if there's eight teams in this heat, if you're in the back, a few meters behind, you end up getting a lot of waves, a lot of wake. So if you can come out to an early lead, you get that nice clear water.
and going into the last 50 meters of this race now. Will it be a close one? Have to wait and see. Neck and neck right now, basically. These two swimmers in the pool. It looks like lane 4 is going to have the advantage here down the stretch for the NWN swim team from Ontario. And that will be Workington finishing it off.
Northwest Norwalls for the win. They closed the gap though. Saskatoon Goldfinns on their third leg. It was neck and neck at the going into the final swimmer.
It's the boys 13 and under 200 meter freestyle event now. And it will be the Gold Saskatchewan team going up against a Manta Manitoba team.
This is a Manitoba Marlins. Oh, they moved some things around. No, you're right. Sorry, I got my heats mixed up. I'm looking at the 13-14. My bad.
It's all good there, Bo. We're into the first part of this race, though. The first 50 meters. Matthew Mai, lane number 5 for the Marlins, trying to keep pace by Kian Wu. He's been so strong in his races, even though he hasn't come out with the gold. He's been bested in his races that he's been in. He's also shown really good times and giving his team trying to give them a good advantage here early on. This is the boys 13 and under 200 meter freestyle relay.
Yeah. Saskatoon is going to have to try to build a lead here because Manta's got Rimso on the anchor. So if you're tied at the 150 here, it's going to be a tall task for the final Saskatoon swimmer.
Might be the most crucial part of this race for this Gold Saskatchewan team.
Does look like Saskatoon is definitely going to close the gap here.
And that is lane number 4, Landon Kennedy. My apologies, folks. Got my lanes mixed up. It has been Manta leading for most of this. And here he is, Rimso Unke Chika. And what
Rimso
does he have?
Very fast relay takeover.
And it doesn't even... he just makes it look so effortless, and giving him that type of lead, any type of lead, looks like it'll prove costly for the team going against them. And once again, a young superstar from the Manta Swim Club living up to that expectation, being the anchor for that team and finishing 6 seconds ahead, pretty much, almost, over Foster Forney. So it's the girls 13-14 200 meter freestyle relay coming up. And for This heat, we're going to see a team from their FS Saskatchewan, the Gold Saskatoon team, the Manitoba Marlins Swim Club as well going at it. They'll be in lane 5.
There's some confusion going on here. According to the program, Flatliner is supposed to be in lane 3. They're lining up in lane 5. Peter Garrigan, head referee, coming in here to try to clear this up.
Yeah, they got it right on the board. But there is, like you said, some confusion there.
Looks like they got it straightened out.
This will be the girls 13-14 200-meter freestyle relay.
So this is heat 1. If they put down a fast time here, they can still win the gold medal. But the Goldfinns got the B team in here.
And they are off lane number 4 to start things off. I believe they are in first. Lane number 5 looking very good as well. That is Noella Champagne in the 5th lane for the Manitoba Marlins. In the 4th lane, JC Lutz in 2nd right now, and in the 3rd lane, in 3rd, is Mila Kakmarski. There we go, Manitoba Marlins Swim Club in first place to start things off. And in the water for them now, do not have the name changes yet, but it is Ann Magnus who is carrying the lead over from when she got it. Brooke Appel has been strong this week so far in this event, in this Men's Sats Provincial Championships, but can't quite. Gains a bit of ground into 2nd place, or trying to get there. But it is the middle lane that is in 2nd right now, the Gold Saskatoon team. That is Mari Joyelle now for the Manitoba Marlins, swimming in the 5th lane. Coming up in the last 50 meters here soon. Maggie Bogdan in lane number 3. She is in last place right now. Her team is. And Jeb Hart for the Gold Saskatoon team in 2nd. But we're coming down the final stretch here of this race. Who wants it more? Well, it's the Manitoba Marlins, Ariel Pats, followed by in 2nd in the Emila Hatch, and then Taya Hauser in 3rd. But it will be Manitoba Marlins having a strong performance here and being able to finish it off. Ariel Pats on the as the anchor.
So 2:03.04, winning this heat. We got to keep an eye on the next heat here, because the 2:03.04, based on these entry times, has actually got them the bronze medal. So a very strong performance here in the first heat from the Marlins. Let's see if that's enough to get them a medal.
Well, there will be 2 Manta teams coming up here in this next heat of the girls 13-14 200-meter freestyle relay event. And
yeah, Manta has a lot of depth on this 13-14 age group, especially on the girls' side.
Lane number 5, led by Hallie West.
Hallie trying to get a junior qualifying standard here. That's probably why she's leading off. She's looking for 27:29. See if they can get her another trials cut, and she's got it by 1/10 of a second.
It's the lucky suit working for her. Wow. Right now, it's that lane number 5 that has been taking it to the competition. Look at lane number 2 here, making some moves is Sadie Anderson right now for the Raw team from Saskatchewan. Manitoba, or the Mantis Swim Club in that 5th lane, still in first. In that 2nd lane, though, gaining some distance, it's Edelman trying to get there. It's coming up on the last 50 meters now. Anna Zhang carrying that good momentum that Manta has had in lane 5. And now they're into their final lap here. Who's set up best to catch them? Well, it's the Rod Saskatchewan swim team in that 2nd lane. Probably has the best chance. Looking at lane 7 as well. They moved into 2nd. Lane number 5 has moved into, or lane number 6 has moved into 3rd place, but it is lane number 5 finishing it off. Bridget Sage. Will she be able to get there? And she does. And she's able to claim that win, coming in 2nd in lane number 7. Finishing it off for the Gold Saskatchewan team.
Yeah, very strong swim here from the Manta A team. The Marlins time from the first heat ended up getting them 6th overall, so not quite in there for a medal.
And here we go. The 2nd time we are going to see the boys competing in this type of event. And leading off here out in front. It's looking like lane number 7 having a good advantage in Martin Haleko. For lane number 4 as well, they had a strong start there in the first 50 meters. Lanes 4 and 7 right now going at it. They are the leaders at this point. Lane 5 as well making a good push. Trying to stay in that top 3. But it is.
Yeah, the Bison's showing their speed here.
And that U-Man swim team in that 7th lane really looking good. Ling Bin Lee swimming for them, but taking a look at lane 4, something to keep an eye on there is Ian Jennis. Can you bring him back a bit? We're coming down to the final 50 meters here in this race.
Extremely close races. Maybe the Marlins taking this.
And it is lane 5, Tam Doan. He's been good. Tam Doan, he's been more than good. Can he be more than good here to bring it home for the Manitoba Marlins? It will be close, but it looks like Tam Doan will come away with the win. Or who will it be? Yes, Tam Doan.
That was quite a finish. He made sure he hit that touchpad.
What a race there. Just really could not tell. There wasn't a clear favorite in that one from the very beginning. It came down to the wire there.
Yeah, it did. That was exciting. A few lead changes there.
Event 27 coming up. The girls 15 and over 200 meter freestyle relay. And there's all Saskatchewan teams in this heat, except for the 4th lane, which is occupied by the Seals team from Manitoba.
Yeah, it looks like most of the Saskatchewan teams are in heat number 1. Heat number 2 is the other way around. It's going to be 7 Mantle teams in heat number 2 and 1 Saskatchewan team.
And right now, tough to tell, but it is lane number 5 who is out in front. That is the FS team from Saskatchewan. That is Marion Lewis that is racing for them right now. Lane number 2 also looking good right now in Jane Gurney. But lane 3 is taking the lead over Gurney and Rebecca Moore. And it will be Rebecca Moore who actually got the advantage and got first place. Looking at it, it is lane number 3 right now that has a good advantage, but right with them. Oh, it's going to be close here once again coming down the stretch. Look at lane 2 as well. Claire Yeo really giving it her all and giving her team a good chance to potentially take this thing. But it is Jenna Weldon in lane number 5. It's in second.
Madison Reimer from the Shields making a move there, putting the Shields in a good position.
And right now, coming down the stretch, it's lane 2 leading. Lane 5 trying to catch up. Lane 3 as well, giving it her all. Lane 4 as well. These lanes in the middle part of the swimming pool right now, giving it their all. Who's it going to be? Looks like lane 2, Abby Jebhart. Looks like she's going to take it. Who will it be? Could it be lane 5? And oh, it will be, yes, lane 5. Jenna Weldon.
From the Flatlands, interestingly enough, Saskatoon Golfins B team beat the A team. Not sure if that's what the coach had intended there. Somebody probably pulled a surprise 50 out of their hat. The coach didn't see that coming.
Must be that motivation being on the B team instead of
the A
team.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I'll show you.
Well, we're into the second heat. 3 heats left. This is the final heat for the girls 15 and over 200 meter freestyle relay. Coming up, we finish off with event 28, the boys 16 and over 200 meter freestyle relay with 2 heats there. But we are set to go. All 8 lanes will be occupied, and we are off. Right now, so aggressive. It's looking like lane number 4. And there she is, Mia West, starting things off. Looking like their strategy, trying to get their, probably their strongest swimmer out there to start things off for lane number 4.
Alexis Oliver here, swimming the second place for Mansa. She's very strong underwater. Looked like Hannah Chanel from the Bisons is taking over the lead.
Lane number 5 occupied by Hannah Chanel here. Lexi Oliver also out there. She's in second. She's on that 4th lane. It's a close race here so far. Out on lane 5 right now, Georgia Pengilly for UM, followed in second by the 4th lane occupied by Manta and Van Den Heaver. But right now off to a really a fantastic meet for them for this heat. Kara Didziak coming down in lane 5 in second. Trying to catch her is Shizum Unkechika. Will be Unkechika. She'll get second. It's Kara Didziak finishing it off and getting the goal for her team. And Uman Hayne Halderson in lane number 3, finishing in 3rd for that team that was in lane number 3. The boys 16 and over 200 meter freestyle relay here.
Final event of the evening. 2 more heats.
And they are off. Ben Stewart in lane number 5, starting off for his team strongly. And it has seemed to be a strategy here, Bo, is that these teams like to go with their more times than not here tonight, at least, with their strongest swimmers to start things off.
Yeah, they like you getting out and getting some of that clear water, so you're not stuck in the wake of somebody else. Especially when you get to some of these bigger boys who really carry quite a wave.
Sam Wagner in lane number 5 for the Rod team in Saskatchewan. Natty Bauserman in lane number 4 for the Manitoba Marlins Swim Club. Currently in 3rd place, last in this heat, is the Manitoba Marlins. Now it is Mahinder Singh in lane number 4 now for the Manitoba Marlins. They've moved into 2nd place here. Jonathan Arndt in lane 3, the gold team from Saskatoon, has they're in 3rd at this point, but it's looking like the Rod team from Saskatoon will be taking this one unless the Manitoba Marlins can come back.
He's gonna give it a shot. Tall ask.
And it will be interesting. It depends on these last meters here. Who's got enough in the tank to finish it off for their 50 meters? And yes, it will be the Rod Saskatoon team finishing in 1st, Manitoba Marlins in lane 4 finishing in 2nd, and the Rod team in lane number 3 finishing in 3rd for that race. Final race here, it's final heat of the night for the 200-meter freestyle relay for the boys 16 and over, and a full pool of swimmers here to end off the night.
Yeah, we got some of the men up here now. You can see the university team from Regina in lane 4. Favorite going in here. Manitoba Marlins swimming pushing that 15-meter limit on the water.
Right now in lane number 4 is Josh Adams of the U of R. It is lane number 2 right now in front, Jaden Belus. But it looks like lane number 4 has retaken the lead. That is Obesh Purahu. This is the first 100 meters of this race so far. Getting ready to go now in lane 4 is another member of the U of R swimming team.
Close battle for 2nd here. I don't think anyone's going to be able to touch the University of Regina.
And these swimmers, they're fast here, I gotta say, in lane number 4, all of them so far. Going into the last 50 meters of this race very soon. It's been all University of Regina. The only lane they're in lane 4 during this race, during this heat. But the race for 2nd now, it is on. And it is in that 6th lane looking good. They're trying to catch up in front there to where Jaden Bale is, but that won't be it. And now it will be lane number 6, I believe, touching up.
He just got up to. I thought he had a long finish there. It looked like he did get his hands on the wall. University of Manitoba in 2nd place.
There you have it, folks. This concludes a very long day of broadcast and swimming here from the Pan Am Pool in Winnipeg. We started off with the prelims this morning, and tonight it was all about the finals. We saw some fantastic performances, some disappointment on swimmers' faces, but there's still plenty more to cover and see here coming up. On Saturday tomorrow, we'll be back here. We'll start the broadcast 10 minutes before the first heat time for the prelims at 9 a.m., so we'll start at 8:50 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then we'll be back here as well in the nighttime tomorrow at 5 for the first heat of the finals for that event tomorrow in session number 5, as it will be. But, Bo, always great to have you on. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night for the finals. and as well as on Sunday for the finals. But we'll see you Saturday first off for the
I
finals.
appreciate it. Yeah, looking forward to another great day of racing. Like you said, we had some heartbreak here tonight. Some swimmers just barely missing out, and we'll see how they recover and how they come back tomorrow. See if you can come back with a fresh mindset and get a fresh start and try to go for it in some other events. But yeah, it's still a lot of swimming left. Hopefully those kids regroup, recover, and get back at it tomorrow for some more fast swimming.
It's about that next one, right? And the next one for us will be tomorrow morning. We'll be here for the prelims coverage starting. The races will be starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow. But for Graham Forsyth, along with the rest of our ASTV Productions crew, I've been your play-by-play commentator. Happy to bring you the 2022 Men's Sask Winter Provincial Championships here from Pan Am Pool in Winnipeg. Thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight and all the support you've been giving us so far. And until tomorrow morning, folks, when we see you early in the morning, we'll see you then. Graham Forsyth and the rest of ASTV Productions signing off now. Good night, everyone.